Okay, let's get started.
Just raise your glasses high. This one's sweet.
Amy Riley,
Wake up, little turtles.
come out of hibernation.
Get out of your shells.
It does feel like a long winter has just begun.
Yeah. What do you mean? Yes.
Well, if you're not watching this on video, we're doing a Turtle Time After Dark tonight. This is maybe the first time we've ever recorded after dark,
No, we've seeped into the dark a couple times.
but we've never started at dark.
And I'll be honest, it feels odd.
Yeah.
Like anything could happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe this episode will be just a little different,
I think it's going to be more rated R. Right?
more than usual
Are we rated R?
sometimes.
I think we push the boundaries of PG-13 plus,
Yeah.
right? But sometimes we do get fully R rated, right?
Yeah, the hard R.
Hard, one of the hardest R's. Never NC-17, not even close, right?
No. Yeah, I think things could get a little spicy.
I know. And everybody, I know we like people listen to us audio-wise, but take a little peek on this YouTube and just see what kind of things we're working with. Amy and I are drinking spiked eggnog
Yeah.
from Trader Joe's. You were saying right before you got here, you weren't partial to eggnog, right? Before
It's not like a go-to for me, and so I wasn't sure if I like it or not because I never drink it. So I was like, do I like eggnog? But it's good.
Really?
What booze did you put in?
So no, Trader Joe's, which, they don't pay me to say this, but they have just their own already alcoholic eggnog pre-rummed.
Okay.
Like spiced rum.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, spiced rum,
Okay.
I think. So, for some reason, people who go to Trader Joe's and who are listening to this, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's one of the best things that Trader Joe's has ever done,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I think I have some rum in my bar cart that I should give to you so you can add even more into your eggnog.
You're not going to drink that rum?
I've had it for years.
Yeah, we have the same liquor bottles under our, in one of our cabinets that we never drink either. Vodka, a gin, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We just never.
I, years and years ago, my job at the time, we had an alcohol sponsor. So we got all of this free stuff, flavored vodkas, and I've had them for so long. I just don't drink them.
Did you ever give them to somebody eventually?
I should.
Okay. I wanted to say one word of caution. This eggnog is not good in the summer or at
curdle.
the beach or in the sun. It's more of a winter drink.
Yeah. I do like that it's iced.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I think
I'm so
that
glad.
makes it more palatable.
Do you feel, as we are now, it's December, I think 8th, when our little turtle cuties are listening to this.
Yeah.
What's your holiday cheer level? Is it rising
It's
a little
been
bit?
raised. I have a tree now. I've decorated. I put lights outside on our little porch. Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Did you, like we were talking about on Patreon, did you have your customary tradition of watching the Christmas Muppet? What's it? Christmas?
Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah, did you watch that?
We did not, but we watched Simpsons Christmas episodes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
How many are there that you watched?
I think we watched 3.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I know the good one is when Bart steals that video game. Did you
Yeah,
watch that one?
yes.
That's a great
That's
Christmas
a good one.
episode.
Also one where they get Santa's little helper.
That's sweet. That one's first season.
Yeah. That was cute. And then Jimmy continued on and into the dark territory of Family Guy and put on a Family Guy Christmas special.
Was it irreverent?
It was cuckoo.
Was it? Did it have Did it encapsulate holiday cheer? I just can't I can't imagine Seth MacFarlane doing an endearing, nice Christmas special without it being kind of too crude.
Yeah, it was crude.
It was?
It was about how Santa's a fraud and all of his elves are inbred and suicidal.
That's the kind of shit that Family Guy does. I'm just I don't know what the hell Seth MacFarlane is thinking. I mean, we talked about it. He had a brush with death, and so I think that sort of makes his worldview a little skewed.
Yeah. Their joke was that Santa's Muslim.
Who said that?
Santa's dying, and he goes, "I'll be with Allah soon."
Okay.
I was like, that's funny.
That made me smile. That's kind of funny. You know, Family Guy kind of is shit just because Peter Griffin sucks.
Yeah.
He's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Where Homer is endearing and lovable and sweet. I don't know how they did it, even though he does all the same gross things probably that Peter does. Peter's just gross.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, I do always give Homer shit that Jimmy gets mad at me because he's like, everybody loves Homer. And I'm like, Marge is like, lives in hell. Like, she has to do everything.
What, for Homer?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Marge
He's like a
doesn't-
drunk. He is bad at his job.
Yeah.
Like, she has to do everything. He doesn't do shit for the kids.
He does have a very good job at the nuclear power plant.
Yeah.
He brings in probably about, $70,000 a year.
You think?
I think so, if I was guessing Homer's wages.
How old is Homer? Like 35, they say?
Yeah, he got that house when he was like 32, and then I think they're currently trapped as 35 for 30 years. He's been 35.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's funny to just, I don't know. I feel bad for Marge.
Oh, why? She loves Homer.
She does, but like to her detriment.
Yeah, you know, she's the least. She's the most thankless character on Simpsons.
Yeah.
They really have to find stuff for Marge to do. She kind of just has to like turn a blind eye to Homer's misadventures. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he's always just getting fucked up with Barney.
You know who's? Have we ever? Oh, yeah, of course. He gets drunk as hell with Barney. Mo serves him a bunch of beers. You know who's nice and wonderful and a good husband to his wife is Hank Hill.
Oh, okay.
Do you ever watch Hank Hill?
It's been a while. I did like here and there. I never religiously watched it though. He's a good husband.
He's sweet to
Okay.
Peggy. Like he's a very good husband, very good father, and
Yeah.
a wonderful employee of a propane company.
Oh, good. Unlike Al Bundy to his Peg.
I don't know. Speaking of rude and crude and stuff I don't like, any clip I've ever seen of Married with Children, I say, get this off my TV right now.
I feel like we've maybe talked about this before, but my mom wouldn't let me watch it because she said it was nasty.
But it is, right? Isn't the undercurrent of Married with Children that it's nasty?
Yeah, he's like, my wife's a bitch.
I don't like any of those characters. I don't like anything. I've never watched probably more than 1 minute of it just because I just don't like that sensibility.
Yeah. It's like, my wife's a pain in the ass.
And he puts his hand down his pants, right?
Yeah.
And he just sits in a chair all the time, right?
Yeah. And Peg's like, ow.
He also sort of bemoans the sanctity of marriage. Mm-hmm. I'm just kidding. All right, Merry
I'm like,
Christmas. Merry Christmas, little turtle cuties. We were talking about Al Bundy and so you teed me up for a lot of news on this wintry night as we record.
Yes.
Because I was like, nothing happened. All the Bravo celebrities are in bed, like getting their trees, they're hanging their stockings.
Yeah.
You know, they're buying each other presents.
Yeah.
White elephant. Gifts are going around, but then you sort of called to mind a lot of the real news that's happening.
Yeah. I feel like the big one is Alexis Bellino, Jesus Jugs,
Yes.
is dating John, what's his name?
Janssen.
Janssen.
John Janssen, Shannon's former wonderful love. Who
Wonderful.
Well, they had a wonderful love together.
Did they?
You know what? No, I never got a good read on John Janssen, and I never really liked him.
Yeah.
And also, I hated the persona or whatever that they started whispering that, or he started spreading that he doesn't like to appear on camera.
Yeah.
When he so specifically like wanted additional scenes with Shannon, and now obviously that whole thing was a facade because now he's immediately dating someone else in the spotlight in the Orange
Right.
County universe.
Right. Alexis claims that she has literally never met Shannon or like doesn't know her at all, so it's irrelevant. And I'm like, girl, he's using you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't. I guess I'm. Okay, so first off, is it like Vicky said? Vicky commented on this to celebbuzz.com, which is a website where you can't even navigate through it because there are so many pop-ups and photos and ads. And to get the facts straight, you have to click through a bunch of different pages because each paragraph is on a different page. It's the worst website ever.
Did I tell you I used to work there?
You worked at Celeb Buzz?
I technically worked at buzznet.com, which is their sister site. But I did briefly. Sometimes I did, like I worked on the Celeb Buzz YouTube
Really?
for a bit, and
I'm so sorry
it was
that I
like
was-
my first job, but it's an absolute shithole.
I mean,
Yeah.
I could pull it up now. I was trying to read what Vicky said. It said, Vicky goes, I am disgusted. Continue reading on next page. I hate Alexis. Next page. And then pop-ups. You're trying to click the button while pop-ups are popping up.
No, the Kardashian websites used to be hosted on Celeb Buzz. It would be like kimkardashian.celebbuzz.com.
It's a horrible
Yeah.
website. And I think Kim Zolciak and Vicky get paid $1,000 to tweet shitty Celeb Buzz articles
Yeah.
anytime that they're like something is in the news.
The little bit.ly link.
Yes, I'll be honest, Vicky's statement wasn't very good or profound. Did you read it?
I just saw the tweet.
It was just like, I like Shannon. I don't like John. Alexis is bad for doing this. Okay, I got to go now. Please
Yeah.
end my interview with celebbuzz.com. There was just nothing.
Alexis, she posted on her stories the tweet and was like, so sad that you have to, participate in this scammy clickbait,
I mean, like, could anything be more fodder for Vicky to comment on? Like, I feel like,
Right.
of course she would comment on
Yeah.
this. This is very close to her and her friend, and she knows all of the parties involved. Why wouldn't she talk about it?
Yeah. Well, if you want to write a wordy letter to Celeb Buzz, if they're still in the same office they were before, it's at 6464 Sunset.
6464 Sunset Boulevard. Dear Celeb Buzz, I tried to read Vicky's response to the Alexis Bellino and John Janssen dating news and could barely use your website. It sucks! Exclamation point.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. Amy, my friend, used to work there. She said it. She liked working there.
Yeah, it was fun. It was like my first job.
I thought you were gonna say you worked for Zergnet.
Zergnet.
No, you know those articles that are on the bottom of another. Like if you're reading an article,
Yeah.
and then it's like this celebrity has died. Like it'll be
Like,
like
has science gone too far?
yeah, has science gone too far? This person's head is backwards or
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean? Those
Yeah.
are like those horrible, shitty
Yeah.
articles.
There's something. What are those called? It's called like Outbrain or something. It's
Yes.
like it's like auto populated.
So okay, Alexis Bellino. Okay, so clearly she wants a little bit back in the OC universe, which why the hell not?
Yeah.
Obviously.
I wonder what Andy thinks about all this. Do you think he's like, holy shit, this is amazing? Or do you think he's like, what the hell?
I think he's like, this is so sad for Shannon.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's like, producers are talking to him about if they're going to offer Alexis Bellino another contract. Personally, I never thought Alexis was good on OC.
Yeah.
I just never found a lot of merit to
I
her.
mean, her husband was wild though.
Jim.
Yeah.
I do like that on his second season, he immediately said, I want a chin implant. And do you remember that?
Yeah.
He got a huge new chin, which is kind of fun.
Yeah. They had such a nasty, he was like a bad, gross, like macho man who thought his wife should be his queen or whatever.
Yeah. And then do you kind of remember when Alexis would like go, she was like wanted to be a news anchor or whatever, and they'd show
yeah.
her clips. and
That
she
was hard to watch.
so bad. Like she couldn't even function barely at all. But yeah, so I don't know if any of this warrants her being back on, and it might be all for naught that John Janssen tries to get back on, the show
Yeah.
through this ploy. But I think Andy and producers just don't take this bait.
Yeah.
Let John Janssen and Alexis Bellino's relationship fizzle out like into nothing, and do casting away from them. I would say.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference? Would you say bring Alexis back?
No, I mean, I think they have to respect Shannon.
Yeah.
Like, that's sad.
Shannon's had a rough few months. I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, even worse than I've had a rough few months, but I think Shannon is really like takes the cake.
Maybe she'll have a huge turnaround like Ariana has.
I think so.
Yeah. Which, speaking of, there's news in her corner.
Oh, right.
First of all, she came in third on Dancing with the Stars. She did not win.
Okay, so just a little bit. You watched it, right?
I did watch it.
Okay, you did.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it. Can you tell me just, summarize how that panned out? Because I really thought, number one with a bullet. for
Yeah.
Ariana. So what happened?
Yeah, Xochitl Gomez won, and she was, if it wasn't going to be Ariana, it was going to be her. But on the finale, so Jason Mraz got second because he did really well. He's done well overall, but he did really well on the finale. And I felt like Ariana's been doing amazing, and I've been so impressed. But to me, the finale wasn't her best. Like, I think she had she's an injury that I think made it hard. And I just think she didn't, I felt like she dropped a rung at the very end, and Jason Mraz came up a rung. So
Was there anything specific about her dance that brought it down, or was it just not overall a great performance?
well, she had to do two. They all had to do two.
Okay.
And the first one she did, I thought, me and my friends, when we were watching it, we were like, oh God, like there were some flubs, like some obvious flubs. But that show is so BS because they gave everyone like 10s across the board, like for everything. And I was like, there were like noticeable mistakes.
Okay.
Like I could tell. And they were like 10. I was like, what?
Okay.
And then she did Beyonce for her second one. It was like freestyle. You could do whatever you want. And she kind of just did like hip hop, like dance, where I wanted her to do some sort of compilation or like use the skills that she had learned on the show to like show off what they've been doing this whole time.
Right.
Like I think what's impressive is when you learn, you know, like you have to do like the waltz or the cha-cha or like all of these things that stick you in a certain style that you have to accomplish technically.
Yeah.
But when it's freestyle, you can just do whatever. And I was like, it wasn't as impressive because it was like you could just do whatever you wanted. Yeah. And I was like, and Jason Mraz, he and Sochi kind of did a version of like the kind of dancing they had been doing. And so it looked really good. And you're like, this is what we've been watching all season.
But she took sort of like, used it as sort of a break to do what she like wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also hard when it's like Beyonce because it's like, who dances better than Beyonce, you know?
Right. I mean, I do sometimes dance better than her, but I understand what you mean. What song by Beyonce?
It was what was it? Was it Girls? Like Who Run the World?
Okay.
Girls. But I think it was kind of a compilation. I'm trying to remember.
Okay. So because I know Ariana wanted this more than, you know, life itself, and really, I think tried so hard, you know, and put her full 100%. Could you tell, was she like super bummed? Like did that show? Or?
I think she was just happy to have made it that far, but
Okay.
I don't know. But in the back of her head, she knew that mere hours after this thing, she was going to announce that she's now going to be Roxie Hart on Broadway in Chicago, which is now sort of a rite of passage for people on Bravo.
Because Erica Jane did it once.
Yeah.
And
Lisa Rinna.
Lisa Rinna, was it?
Yeah, she did it like I think pre-Housewives. She did it in like 2007 or something because she commented on one of the posts where she was like, I did it before Housewives. Like it wasn't stunt casting. I was just in the show.
What was she famous for at that point that led her to be cast as Roxie Hart? Was that just full
she's
merit?
like a soap actress.
Okay.
I mean, it's still, you know, kind of stunty, but not Housewives stunty. And then Nene has played matron Mama Morton.
That's somebody in Chicago?
Yeah. And someone from RuPaul's Drag Race recently played that role. So they're always just like filling, like Pamela Anderson played Roxie Hart recently. They're just always swapping in a name, you know?
Okay. Wow. Is Chicago good?
It is good.
Okay. I've never seen it.
It's a classic. You should see the movie.
Okay. Is that Richard Gere?
Yeah.
The newer one?
It's from 2003.
Oh, okay. Oh, not new. Okay.
Yeah.
20 years ago.
It's great.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
All
love
right,
it.
cool. Are you gonna see her on it?
Maybe. Last time I was in New York, Pam Anderson was doing it, and I was like, fuck, should I go just as a gag? Like the tickets were like cheap, you know? And I was like, I don't think I want to see that.
Yeah.
But one of my you know that show, The Other Two?
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite jokes from that show is they were like they're like, Audrina Patridge is playing matron Mama Morton, which to me is very funny because it's like an inch from being true. Like it like could happen.
Who's Audrina Patridge?
From The Hills.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She's like the most, you know, I don't know, vapid sort of girly, like I don't know, like Hollywood girly you can imagine. And like in the movie, Queen Latifah plays that role.
Oh, really?
So imagine her playing it. It's just a very funny joke. Because she's like a brassy,
I see.
like prison guard.
Okay. Well, good. Well, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't really know how to feel about it just because I have no association to Chicago. I mean, I know it's a win.
I mean, sure. It's like, I'm confused about, is this what her goal has been all along, to be a performer like this? Like, I know she did comedy and she used to perform like backup for Sheena, but it's
I think so, actually, when you say that. When I think about it now, I'm like, she originally started in like UCB classes, which the ultimate goal of that is to do sketch or be on SNL, or, you know, I do think she wanted to be a comedy performer and then got completely sidelined with reality TV.
Yeah.
So maybe this is like a full-blown, like, she just like flew, you know, to the like one of the greatest steps you can without having to do any like actor stuff in between besides her reality performance.
Yeah.
I do think this is the goal, probably.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I wonder if what she thinks about the history of the other women that have done it, and if she is like self-aware about the sort of like cheeky factor of like the stunt casting of it, you know. But it's kind of funny because Chicago itself, like the storyline is, I feel like it's aligned with Scandival.
Oh, really?
Like, I mean, it's murder, but like it's sort of, it's about like shallow fame and like doing anything, any means necessary. Like she capitalizes like her murder trial to become famous. And like,
okay.
yeah.
Wow.
And I'm like, there's something like Scandival vibes about it, you know?
Wow. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I'm going to watch the movie so I have more of an association with this and I can be more proud, you know?
Yeah. I think Catherine Zeta-Jones won the Oscar for it.
Really?
Supporting?
That's awesome. Okay, good. All right. Well, you know, we're proud of you, Ariana. That's a huge, you know, major thing.
Yeah. Did she fly like red eye straight from Dancing with the Stars to New York? Because she was on Kelly and Mark like the morning after. And I was like, whew, she hasn't had a minute to rest all year.
No, not at all.
And we're going to her book event next Wednesday.
Oh, yes. December 13th, right?
Yep.
In Los Angeles. Danny Pellegrino is the moderator?
Yeah. He has, does he have something to do with her new book or just the old one?
I think just the old one.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, I don't think he co-wrote this one. I'm almost positive.
Got it. I also wanted to shout out, I have to watch it next, I think it's on next Tuesday. I saw an ad on Bravo for, they're showing a special that's basically, I think, a clip show of, it's called Vanderpump Rules, a decade of rumors and lies.
I saw that too, and I was so shocked. I guess it's like an hour special.
Yeah.
I just think my thoughts were, I mean, that's good and that's fun, and I think it's good for people who just got into Vanderpump Rules or who want to be a part of post Scandival and didn't have time to watch the full thing and just watch season 10. I do think it's good, but I think it's kind of awful that Vanderpump Rules' legacy is summed up by a decade of rumors and lies, you know, right? It's
I mean, the core tenet of the show is lying.
Yeah, you said that before.
That's all that's ever happening.
It makes me sad, but there's a lot of truth there too.
But they're lying about what the truth is.
No. Think about some.
No.
There's some truth tellers. Stassi tells the truth.
Okay.
Katie tells the truth.
Okay.
Okay, Sandoval, no. Unfortunately, I think he's on the other end of that spectrum. Schwartz, unfortunately, does lie. Jack's one of the biggest liars in history.
Yeah.
Sheena, not a liar. Except when she created that rumor that she saw Katie motorboating someone's D in a club. I think, but that could have just been how she was like viewing the situation. But Sheena's not really a full-blown liar.
Okay.
Okay, so you think... So you're excited by that subtitle for Vanderpump Rules?
I mean, all of the biggest, best moments of the show is based around lying.
I always felt like it's, you know, just the amount of, just the exact amount of lies that just happen in a friend group when you've watched them for 10 years. Just the subtle little
Who are your friends?
The subtle little white lies that come up
White
amongst
lies.
friends. No, you're right. I just don't. You think it's kind of? I don't know. I guess I don't think of Vanderpump Rules that. That's such a.
You think it's degrading?
Degrading and derogatory to define Vanderpump Rules' legacy by those two things, and it's possible that the clip show is just oriented around that to show us like the level of deceit. But if that's the final statement on what the 10 years of Vanderpump Rules was,
Right.
it's kind of disappointing because I don't view it that way.
Yeah.
I view it as a friend group that sticks together through thick and thin.
Yeah.
That sometimes honestly has to lie to each other to protect each other from harsher truths.
Yeah.
Like Jax, he had to protect Sandoval from him finding out that he made love to Kristen, right?
Right. Okay, so if we went through season 1, Jax is lying about cheating on Stassi.
Yes, that's his big lie.
Then Schwartz lies about hooking up with someone while he's with Katie.
Yes.
Kristen and Jax are lying about hooking up.
I don't know. Does Schwartz lie? Because I think once the rumors are immediately thrust upon him, Katie makes the first accusation of, I'm starting to hear a lot. Well, I guess, I assume he did probably
Lying
lie
by
about having
omission.
sex. Yeah, lying by omission. Yeah. I mean, season 2 obviously has the biggest lie in history.
Yeah. And then there's what's to come.
How about Vanderpump Rules, a decade of partying and sex?
That too.
Do you like that?
Oh yeah, we're currently watching Jax lie about cheating on Tiffany.
Yeah. Jax lies his ass off.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well, okay.
You can't even calculate the number of times Jax has lied.
No, but now he says he's the ultimate truth teller. And remember when he told Andy, I talk about it all the time, but he told Andy, he goes, I never lied on Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah, he's like, because I was always right.
Ariana has only lied once about something really, really big, which is Miami Girl.
Yeah. But we don't know. That's the thing. We don't know how many times everyone's actually lied because we only found out about certain things.
Right. Does Lala lie?
I think she lies about her sex life
Yeah.
and the whole Rand situation.
Yeah, she was lying early in the Randall situation to sort of protect Randall. We don't really think or talk about Randall very much anymore.
No.
Once that documentary came out, it was kind of like, okay, well, I don't really like Randall as much as I didn't like him before. Now we never have to hear about him again.
Jax is never getting that money back, that's for sure.
I don't think so. No. What was it, 60,000?
Something like
Bet
that.
he wants that so bad.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, are you going to watch this special? I mean, I feel like we have to.
totally. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they select because we've been watching it obviously for Patreon.
Oh, yeah. Also, I think Lisa is narrating it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She's going to say that was a big lie. Like
Do you think she'll have Lisa's lie-o-meter?
you read my mind. I think there's going to be a spin the dial sort of thing from 0 to 10, and it says Lisa's lie-o-meter with different faces of shocked Lisa from not at all shocked to horrified. And she's going to go, when I found out that Jax cheated on Stassi, and it's only going to go to a 2, that she wasn't that perturbed.
Yeah.
And then when it gets to Scandival, it's going to be that 10 out of 10.
It's going to break.
What do you mean?
It's just going to shatter.
I think you're right. Man, is it too late for them to do that? Because I feel like they would have a lot of fun with that.
Maybe we can create it ourselves somehow.
Okay.
Lisa's never lied
Yes, she has.
about
That's a good. That was you.
Radar
Just,
Online.
absolutely, with every fiber.
But that's not
of
on
my,
Vanderpump.
Oh, okay. So has she ever lied on Vanderpump?
Yeah.
She's lied about the food being good at Sir.
The tuna Niswa.
She lied about how the tuna Niswa was such a big seller that they couldn't possibly replace it with the salmon, the seared salmon.
Don't you wish you could eat at Pump one more time?
Pump.
Yeah.
I think that they figured out how to scrape some of the food from the old Pump location and serve it at Sir, so you can still get some of that famous
Slop.
There was enough remnants of food particles around Pump that they were able to push some together and serve it at Sir. Chef Penny, I wonder, if she was the Pump. Remember, we found that she was the Pump chef.
Yeah.
So I think she's still in the universe. You were saying on Patreon, it's kind of funny that that Katie and Ariana wanted Chef Penny involved in their something about her enterprise when they've tasted her food at Pump, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it is funny. Like, I feel, I don't know. I feel slightly like Ariana wants to escape the Vanderpump universe a little bit.
Yes.
But at the same time, she is opening a restaurant on Vanderpump Row with Lisa's chef.
You said that on Patreon. I think that's true. It's like you did an enterprise that is going to prolong your life in the Bravo sphere and Lisa's universe for a very long time.
Yeah. Lisa was at Dancing with the Stars, though.
That
supporting.
was sweet. I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw a little clip of that. Was she happy?
Yeah. Also, me and my friends, after the episode, we watched some clips of Lisa on Dancing with the Stars from 10 years ago, and all of the kids were in the crowd. It was like Stassi, the Toms, Katie.
That's sweet.
We like screamed. We were like, they're all there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
And I was like, of course, they had nothing better to do at that time. They're
Of
like,
course.
we'll go every week.
Man, now that you set me up with this thing of when has Lisa lied on Vanderpump Rules, because I know she lied through her teeth on Beverly Hills about a lot of stuff. But if I'm trying to think about it now, there's some little white lies
I'm sure.
that Lisa unleashed.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Right.
that was our news segment?
I think so. There's the Southern Charm seating chart was released, but it's not that interesting.
No, it's like exactly what you would imagine based on if you're watching it. Like, who do you think is close to Andy? Austin? Craig? Shep?
Yeah.
Paige, was Paige on it? No.
I don't think so. But like Rodrigo wasn't he?
Yeah, Rodrigo's on it. Yeah.
Like, why?
So it's like, okay, if you're thinking about it like planets, Andy's the sun. There's, what's the first, I shouldn't have made myself start to do the planets, but whatever the two
Oh God,
planets
I could never.
are closest to the sun. And then Pluto and Uranus and Saturn are like Vanita, Rodrigo, and Rod, which I was kind of surprised.
Is Pluto still a planet?
Oh no, it's a, I'm sorry. It's a Plutoid.
Oh. Is that real?
Yeah, they named a thing. It's a big hunk of ice, and astronomers were classifying it wrong for a long time. It's just this big hunk of ice that sort of swirls around. What's the second planet? I think we might have to edit this segment out.
The way I have no idea. I do not remember the planet orders.
Oh, someone will help us, one of our astronomer listeners. But I think Neptune is the most frigid out.
Neptune's net,
Neptune's net.
where Jax proposed to Brittany.
Right. Oh, that was so sweet. Remember how nervous he was?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Pluto got declassified. It's now just a big hunk of ice, which is really sad. But anyway, that's Vanita, Rodrigo, and Rod. JT got a little more closer to Andy's warmth. Just you're looking at it now, right?
Yeah. So it goes Andy, then there's Shep and Craig on either side of him. Olivia's next to Shep. Taylor's next to Craig. Taylor is between Craig and Austin.
Okay.
And Olivia is between, it goes Shep, Olivia, Madison. Then
okay.
JT, Leva gets to participate for some reason. And then Rod.
I mean, it's just basically the crowd that you need next to Andy. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason because Madison, Austin, Shep, Taylor, Craig are all bringing it the most. I mean, they're the hot core of Southern Charm.
I'm like, why does Rodrigo need to be there? He's not going to talk. He has nothing to say. What are you going to ask him?
I think they're going to say, Rodrigo, what was it like being in that North Carolina cabin with everybody? And he'll be like, that was really fun.
And Leva at the most should come out for 10 minutes. She doesn't need to sit there the whole time.
I think they have to honor the casting decision they made, and Rodrigo was set up as a new cast member along with Rod and JT. And so how are you going to just count him out? You know, like how can you just say, oh no, he's not actually considered the 3 new cast members that we brought to Southern Charm?
I guess with this, it's harder than Housewives because it's not like, oh, you don't have a diamond, you don't need to be there. Like they bring out the friend ofs and then say like, thanks for coming, bye.
Right.
Or like they bring out the husbands. But I guess for this, they just have to have everybody.
Yeah, you know, I remember one Southern Charm, like season 7 or whatever, like Southern Charm's always had a big cast and they sort of just get like, I think it's more just like rambunctious and they let a lot of people on Southern Charm. It's not a very like cloistered environment. So maybe they just like that there's going to be that many people there to make it like
Right.
boisterous. But
Yeah.
I get what you mean. It's like there's
I mean,
a clear.
They used to have their reunions at the clubhouse, remember?
Yeah.
Like tiny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When what's his name? T-Rav was there.
Yeah, and then him and Catherine would like always have sex after the reunion.
They would get so horny during it.
Andy's like, I predict you guys are gonna hook up tonight, and then she like got pregnant.
Yeah. That was wild.
Okay, well, so this week we're gonna talk about Southern Charm, Beverly Hills, Salt Lake, and Winter House, right?
Yes. In that order, you want to?
Well, I feel like we usually honor the Southern Charm Challenge by doing
Right.
it first.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
And then
What do we usually do?
Salt Lake City, then Beverly Hills.
And then the Winter House minute.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. Do you need a break or some eggnog, or how do you feel?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Do you want a certified turtle piss break?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a certified really quick. I'm gonna pour myself some eggnog, and then we will be right back with Southern Charm.
Enjoy these messages.
Yep. We're back.
We're back.
Southern Charm.
Jamaica me crazy.
Now, you said this episode was called Jamaica Me Crazy. You already alerted me to that, and I couldn't believe it. Is there a lazier title for an episode that takes place in Jamaica than that?
No. Like,
Can't.
if you like put a gun in my head and we're like, name the episode, I'd be like, Jamaica me crazy.
Right. I mean, it is like, there's an episode about Jamaica. What should we call it? I don't know. I think probably Jamaican Me Crazy. Like,
Yeah.
there's just nothing could be less effort than that.
Yeah.
No offense to them. And it's not, like you said on Patreon again, sorry to keep referencing Patreon, but it's true that no one cares about these titles except us.
Yeah.
But even that is just almost a bridge too far for me, that someone just said, please call it Jamaica Me Crazy because they're in Jamaica.
Yeah. I mean, because this week Beverly Hills was called Dazed and Accused.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, that's at least like has a little something going on, because it's Stoner, Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, wow.
And then Accused, I mean, I guess Sutton accused
accuses
Kyle of
Kyle.
hiding something.
Yeah.
So I was like, that works on
It
two
should have been
levels.
it should have been called Kyle's Weed Dinner or Weed Dinner from Hell. Did they not want?
yeah.
They didn't want to call it weed. Like, it was so clear. They kept calling it Kyle's Weed Dinner. Sorry to talk about that already, but
The
it's just
devil
like,
weed.
yeah, something about that. But anyway, I actually like. You're right. It required more thought.
Yeah.
But that's not a very good episode for that kind of iconic dinner. I didn't think. Episode title.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Okay, so this episode of Southern Charm, first of all, it's the classic. Half of the episode is not Jamaica, right?
Right.
And then we get half Jamaica, and then they split up the trip, so it's like a to be continued, so that like you'll watch again. Which
Yeah.
I really respect the opposite format, which was on Salt Lake City, when they just go to Bermuda immediately, and the entire episode is about that trip.
Right.
Wish they'd adhere more to that format instead of this split up episode. Trips.
Right.
Because the stuff leading up to Jamaica was not very fun.
Yeah, you always have to go through the like announcement of it happening, everyone packing, talking about going to the airport, being at the Charleston airport, and then being at the Jamaican airport, and then being in the bus on the way to the hotel, checking into the hotel, getting into your rooms, then the dinner.
Yes. Yeah, they really belabored that. And then I was also thinking with this just ties into Beverly Hills, where if that dinner, that was just one episode, the full thing, and they didn't have the prior to the dinner and after the dinner, that episode would have been one of the best episodes of all time. Just that dinner on its own for a full episode would have been so great. But then before and after the dinner, they put a bunch of filler. 'Cause it was just so shocking. But I know that they're just doing that, because they want to, get 2 episodes out of one iconic thing.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about this before, but Craig is really trying to make it seem like there's a reason for this trip.
Yes.
He said before it was to get everyone to know Paige. And so he FaceTimes her and he's like, yeah, so I found a last minute deal to go to Jamaica for 3 days. And I'm like, a deal? Like, we're pretending that you like got it on Expedia or something.
Right.
And then Paige, she's kind of going along with it. And then all of a sudden she goes, so work-wise, it would be irresponsible for me to go. I can't go.
Yes.
And we're like, I'm like, how did it get this far and you're
Right.
only just now saying that you can't go?
Yeah, I just don't know what happened here. Because first of all, we just know, like, the illusion is so ridiculous that, like, Craig planned this trip. It was for Paige. Then we find out Paige can't go at last minute. Like, producers did all of this work. And, it was just ridiculous because the entire pretense for the trip is just shot after
We
Paige
were
says no.
watching it together last Friday and like with people, and we were all like, don't tell me Paige isn't going.
Right.
We were like, are you serious?
Yeah, and it's also just a letdown just from an entertainment
Totally.
standpoint, because it would have been awesome to see
Right.
Paige interact with all of them
we
on the
were
trip.
promised Paige.
Yeah. So, that was a bummer in all regards. And
I also love that they keep acting like Paige has some job that cannot travel.
yeah, I mean, what's the peek behind the curtain here? Production said we need to get you guys on a all cast trip. We finally are working it out. We're going to Jamaica because one of you recommended it or Craig likes it. We got to do it ASAP. So make some excuse for why we're doing it and get everybody on board. And then
Right.
Craig was like, "Okay, I'm going to pretend it's a getting to know you trip for Paige." And then he didn't ask Paige before,
I
and then
guess.
so they all just go on this trip without her.
Right. Yeah, and it's funny, once they get there, you realize it is just a mixture of exes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So then we go to Shep and JT are shopping for the trip. And Shep reveals that Taylor
Oh, right.
texted him, I think it was the night of the Patricia
Yes.
men's party or whatever.
The royal dinner.
Yes, the royal dinner. And they showed the text, which they did, we noticed, in a fun new way where it was sort of like animated where the texts were coming in.
Yeah.
But Taylor said it was kind of a weird.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah. So she said, I'm asking if you're good or not. Shep goes, I'm good, I suppose. And then Taylor says, haha, I'm asking dick wise. And Shep says, ha, probably not. And she goes, Kay, we'll stay with Austin. You're lame as fuck.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, I mean, a lot to think about. First of all, she texted both Austin and Shep after
Right.
this dinner, like trying to, I mean, be with one of them, whoever would take her that night, right? Whoever wanted to be with her that night. But the fact that Taylor, this is after North Carolina, after they slept in the same bed, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it has to be. I'm like confusing myself. I'm just like Taylor's. I just can't believe that she wants to continue this friends with benefits relationship with Shep, and also the way she put it was so shocking. Are
Right.
you okay? I'm asking if you're okay, dick wise.
Right. I kind of want to see what the text before this was, because she goes, I'm asking if you're good or not. Like, that sounds like she's clarifying. So I'm like, what did she say originally? And then what did he say?
She said, I'm asking if you're good or not.
Yeah. I'm asking if you're good or not.
Right.
And he said, I'm good, I suppose. And I'm like, so what did she ask before, where she had to say, what I'm asking is are you good or not? Like,
Yeah.
was she like, you good?
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, I guess. And then when she says I'm asking dick wise, it's like, is your dick good or does it need help?
It's all confusing.
Yeah, it's just the language is very odd. It's
Why
kind
didn't
of,
she just say like, wanna fuck?
right? I mean, it's kind of like come one, come all, where it's like I'm not sure if she understands how these phrases are coming out, or like
Right.
how they can be interpreted.
Right.
I'm asking if you're good dick wise, and then she uses Shep's insecurity about Austin or whatever it is to
Right.
say now I'm going to go possibly sleep with Austin,
Which is quite childish.
yes.
She's like, fine, like, I'll go stay with Austin. And I'm like, low key, I don't think Shep really cares.
No, not at all. And what I didn't expect about this season was actually that Olivia and Taylor would sort of be pulled back into the Shep and Austin orbit. 'Cause we
Right.
learn later that Olivia is starting to also be like, I think things could possibly be good with Austin again. I'm starting to
Right.
like him, and they're
Yeah.
flirting. So I thought those eras were so over, and this was going to be the fallout, and like them hating each other. But like they both sort of went back in.
Right. Yeah. I was enjoying watching Austin and Olivia's chemistry in this episode. I was like, let's be fun again.
Yeah.
So then Austin goes to therapy.
Right.
He fills in his therapist on Jamaica, who's going. He tells his side of the Taylor text. Like she's like, he says she's using him to make Shep jealous. The therapist is like, you should use your intuition and your gut to, set boundaries, to decide what the right thing to do is in any situation. And then in his confessional, the producer's like, do you think you have good intuition? And he was like, no, I do not think I have good intuition.
Right. Yeah, which was, it was honest of him to admit that.
Yeah.
'Cause I think that's definitely true.
And then he goes, this sounds crazy because I piss everyone off, but I'm a people pleaser, which made me think there was like a viral tweet recently that was like, calling yourself a people pleaser is the new I'm an empath. They're like, these people pleasers ain't pleasing anybody.
Right. Yeah. Actually, I didn't really think of Austin as that.
Yeah.
Really.
I'm like, what you mean is you don't have a spine and you tell people what they want to hear. That's like, that's not being a people pleaser. That means you're like a coward.
Right.
And he said he's not looking to date right now. And so she's like, you should tell Olivia that, like, if you want to be friends. And so I feel like this whole episode is him navigating being friends with her without sending the wrong idea or without getting overwhelmed himself in how he feels.
Right.
Okay. And then there's a quick little Madison visit to the OBGYN, where she reminds us that when her son was born 10 years ago, she suffered a pelvic fracture, which actually, having seen her in person, is not that surprising because she's like the smallest person I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And so squeezing out a massive child from her frame is horrific.
Yeah. That was, well, yeah. So we find out that they want to have a child ASAP with Brett. And he was like, they should have flashback or whatever. He was like, I want it at end of summer.
Right. Which I assume just means ASAP, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then a snooze fest, Taylor and Leva meet up.
Yeah, she just, Taylor again, which is a theme throughout the season, is she justifies to herself these really odd things that she is doing. So like when she sent a naked photo to Whitney that said, come one, come all, with her bare breast to him, she says, God wants us all to be naked. I wish I was naked all the time. That's just a normal thing that people would do to send a nude to Whitney. And then with this, she's like, I'm not sorry for sending that text. He was someone that I really loved. And that's how you talk to people if you've been in a relationship. That, are you good dick-wise? So
yeah, she said, not a mistake in my book.
Yeah, so she really has a justification for all of these sort of like spurned feelings that she's having about Shep. I mean, it just can't be overstated how bad or how hurt she is by this breakup. Like,
Yeah.
not even, there's no question. Shep is fully over it. Fully says, we will never get back together.
Yeah.
I do not want that from her. But she is just like so upset that everything she's doing is just spiraling.
Yeah.
Based on how the fact that she thought that she would be with Shep forever and he broke up with her, right?
Right.
Or she found out he was cheating. Did he have to break up with her?
Did she find out after the fact? I don't remember.
Oh yeah, me neither.
But yeah, so she kept calling her texts to Shep booty call texts. And I was like, that would just be a booty text, not a booty call text.
Oh right. She should
It's
have
repetitive.
Right. She should have clarified that. You're right.
And then Leva's like, she's not the girl I used to know. I was like, that's dramatic.
You thought so? But I mean, Leva is though learning a lot of new things about Taylor
Yeah.
in this time.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, and I am shocked by Taylor, and I don't even know her.
Wait, Leva does not go to Jamaica, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, right. I was just thinking of that.
Because I'm just like, her place in the show is very strange to me.
I think it's too Southern hospitality exists.
Yeah.
And I think they think that the secret to keeping another show that they've already invested a lot of time and money in is to keep Leva there so that you're like, oh, I want to check out this other show that Leva's a part of if you like Leva.
Sure.
But she's just like, she is like Lisa on the show. She's like
Yeah.
someone you go to have a one-on-one to like get advice, but she's not really in the mix. They're not really friends.
Right. It's weird because I feel like she does act like she's the Lisa Vanderpump figure, as if she's like old and wise,
know.
but she's like their age.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I think Leva's fine. I think I'm very neutral on her. I
Yeah.
don't get a lot of joy when I see her, and she doesn't do anything so offensively awful that I'm like, you're lame. I want you out of here. She's okay.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of like fat to be trimmed. I'm like, let's just focus on the core. Like I'm like Vanita snip, Rodrigo snip, Leva snip.
Where are you putting Rod?
Rod can snip.
I have so turned on, not turned, but I
And
just like my.
You guys don't get mad at me. I know that I just visualized snipping out every person of color or LGBT member of the cast, and that's not what I'm saying. I
No.
just feel like they're not shining right now.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I didn't think of you doing that, and I didn't visualize you doing that at all. I just think that Southern Charm has like we just said, a core of the people that are providing the most entertainment value that have been there the longest, and they are continuing to do that.
Yeah.
And so far, not a lot of people can break through that have been added after the fact. Leva has not broken through. She has no storyline that she's the genesis of, or
Right.
that she's the main focus of.
I mean, yeah, there's a reason. Like, she's been technically on the show since day one,
Yeah.
and she never broke through because
she didn't.
she's kind of just doing her own thing.
Yeah. And Vanita is like someone you go to see how her house is doing every episode. You see
She's
her
the
for
FaceTime cast member.
Yeah, she's who people relay information to and from.
She's a mule.
She just gets right. She just gives and receives information while sitting on her porch at her house.
Yeah.
And then Rod, I had high hopes, but then I think when I saw him and how Olivia sees him, where I didn't see this like romantic spark anymore, and Olivia is just like, I don't know, man. And then all of this pining for Olivia when she's just post her brother dying. I'm like,
Yeah.
everything he does now, I'm just kind of like, you don't understand why this isn't working out right now. I think you need to figure out what else you can do except being the former potential boyfriend of Olivia.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so he's just not providing a lot on his own. We need these cast members that, despite storylines or despite anything going on, they can just be entertaining on their own. Shep is always entertaining, even if he's not the focal point of
Right.
a storyline. And
Right.
he is a lot of the time, because
Right.
he is just such a chaotic individual. But I'm just saying, you want people who can just exist and they're fun to watch.
Right. Yeah. Well, in this next scene, Olivia's mom appears to be pro Rod.
Yeah,
like she was like,
"Oh,
Rod's
no."
nice. And
Yeah.
Olivia's like, I told him no thanks. Like, gotta pump the brakes on that one. She's like, oh man.
Can I mention the Easter egg in the scene?
Yes.
Okay, so Amy and I are the only ones talking about how Olivia in every single scene has to include a little Easter egg that alludes to Elvis. Whether it's a magazine with his blurred face on it, she's wearing her Taking Care of Business necklace,
Yeah.
she's singing Suspicious Minds with Austin or humming it. And then in this scene, right behind her, there's, what is it? It just says Elvis in
Yeah.
gold, bold lettering.
Yeah. I can't tell if it's like a belt buckle or just like a plaque.
But this is her most blatant Elvis Easter egg, right?
Yeah.
It was just right there for us.
Yeah. This is like the 10th time.
I don't know who's on this Elvis journey with us, but we have to talk to Olivia about this someday. I just want to know when did this happen? Was it Baz Luhrmann? Is that his name?
Yeah.
See? Okay. Yeah. Like, did she watch that movie and got fully Elvis pilled?
Yeah.
Has she seen Priscilla?
Yeah. I would like to believe that her fandom predates those films.
You would like to believe it, but you know what? I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. I think it could have been before.
Yeah. You should make a TikTok about it and see if she'll respond.
Okay, I would love to. I would love to engage with Olivia on TikTok. What was there any other purpose to this scene with her mom? Just
Not
sort
really. She explains the Austin situation, and she said that Austin told her that he still loves her. And I was like, I don't think that's quite what he said. He said that he loves her, but I feel like that could mean as a friend.
I also took it that way. I thought when they were having that conversation, like that breakfast conversation, he was like pouring out his feelings about how he still wants her in his life, and
Yeah.
I felt like love was more like that.
Yeah.
But that's what I thought at this point.
Right.
But then we get the big revelation towards the end,
Right.
which I don't want to spoil.
Totally. We get a moment with Austin and Craig at the gym.
Uh-huh.
They're talking about Paige not coming. They kind of try, like Austin in his confessional goes, if there's trouble in paradise, just tell me. And I'm like, just because she's not coming doesn't mean there's trouble in paradise.
No, I'm so tired again of that narrative. They're
Yeah.
just trying to poke any holes in this Paige and Craig thing to make it seem like this relationship is bad, when
Right.
it's just so clearly they're doing good, and it's just long distance, and she couldn't travel to Jamaica 3 days beforehand.
Right. And of course, Craig is so anti Austin and Olivia being friends. He just thinks it's a no, like absolutely not.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
Okay, we finally go to the airport,
Mm-hmm.
and to call Shep old again, he made another old fogey reference. He got Olivia's suitcase out of the car, and it was heavy, and he said, "Who are you, Diana Ross? Do you have a whole like concert you're packing for?"
Right.
And I was like, Diana Ross? Like,
Yeah, I was trying to.
how old are you?
Yeah, that's true. Well, how old is he? 44? 43?
Yeah, like, I'm just like, that's so weird to say. Like, he's like, do you have all of your Bob Mackie gowns in here? Like, I'm
Right.
like, what are you talking about?
So just too old of a reference, you think?
Yeah, like, I feel like that's something like someone in their 70s would say.
Diana Ross.
At
I have
least
no
50 plus.
Okay, I have no association with her, so I didn't really know what time period that was. So that felt to me like it was possible. I just thought it was like, but you're probably right. He's just pulling an old,
And then he made one that I do not understand at all. I don't know if you wrote this down. He looks at Whitney's passport and he's like, wow, let me see that thing. He goes, that thing's been stamped more than the Rose of Tralee.
Yeah, I heard him say that, and I go, what the hell did he just say? And then for some reason, I didn't think about it again. But whatever that reference was, I do want to know and try to understand it. The Rose of what?
Tralee.
Wow.
He, at first I thought he said nose of Tralee.
Uh-huh.
And so I Googled nose of Tralee, and there's a dog show called The Nose of Tralee, but it's a play on words because of the Rose of Tralee, which I think is like an Irish beauty pageant. Like, it's like historical.
Wait, so your passport has more stamps in it than the Rose of Tralee, which is an Irish beauty pageant? Yeah. You said Tralee?
Yeah.
Okay.
If any turtle cuties know what the fuck he was talking about,
Yeah.
can you tell us?
Did Whitney even like that?
I don't think he said anything. It was weird that they even left it in because I was like, what are you saying?
I do think it's fun that Whitney decided to go on this trip.
Yeah.
I don't think he really wanted to go, but he was just like, okay, fine, I'll go on the couch
Right.
trip with you guys.
I know. He's so out of place. It's
Yeah.
very weird. It's also like whenever they make fun of Shep for being old, I'm like, Whitney's old.
I know. But Whitney does give me hope to age gracefully in a way. You know what I mean?
You
Like, he's-
think?
Well, yeah. I mean, because he is imbued a little bit with youth. I think just how he dresses and him dyeing his hair and hanging out with younger people. I think that's kind of. Well, how old is he? 50?
I assume.
Oh, okay. So I mean, I don't know. I think, I hope I have fun 25-year-old friends when I'm 50.
You do?
No, I don't know. But I don't think of him as that, like, so old that he's out of place. I think he feels sort of in the mix, but maybe that's just because I'm closer to his age than, someone else's. But
Right. Okay.
so they arrive, right,
Yes.
to Montego Bay.
Yep.
They immediately get a bunch of red stripes and
Hell
margaritas,
yeah.
which I love that.
Hell yeah.
That's a trope on any of these
yeah.
franchises. Just immediately go to the bar and start to get ripped.
Yep. Olivia and Austin are like flirting and having fun and laughing.
Yeah.
And Craig is like recapping the bartender about
Yes.
who's dated who. He's like, this is going to be crazy.
This is a big mess.
Yeah.
What did you think about Olivia and Austin's like flirting, like their jokes back and forth? I know you said you liked it.
I mean, there wasn't too much substance to it, but it was like fun. Like they went, by the time they got to the hotel, they were basically drunk. They said they were drunk, and
Yeah.
she was like, "I'm going to be face down in the fountain," and he was like, "Don't say that. Face up in the fountain." And she goes, "Ass up."
Yeah, I know. She said ass up in the fountain. I felt like it was a little okay, so I did think it was sweet that they're flirting. I thought it was kind of fun and they both were engaging in it, but their barometer for the level of jokes and stuff and the banter was really low.
Right.
There was like some like the floater and the margarita, shake it up, and she's like, "You're a floater." It was
I
like
know.
very, very bad
Yeah,
comebacks or whatever.
totally.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, very low standard.
Yeah.
Even though he was like, when we get along, we're two peas in a pod. Like he was like, we're amazing together.
And and like, yes, you are like giggling and laughing and saying a bunch of jokes, but it's all like very bad. And
Right. I did have a dark when he was like, she said she was gonna be face down in the fountain. He was like, no, face up. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
you've been through enough death. We can't joke about it.
yeah, Yeah, that's why he said that.
But yeah, it's taken them like an hour to check into the hotel because everyone is chatting. I don't know what's taking
I
so
think they're
long.
like upgrading their rooms, making sure they have a view. Like
Whitney
everyone,
wants a presidential suite.
right, which he's very upset that he doesn't have one.
Yeah. And then they have extra drinks, and Shep is trying to get rid of these extra drinks, and he tries to give it to Taylor.
Yeah.
And I don't know what she said to piss him off, but he goes, just please take the goddamn drink.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's always so fucking pissed at her. Like,
Yeah,
he gets so triggered.
His flirty banter is like being really aggressive.
It's like kind of scary.
Yeah, he's making fun, teasing her, but it's like it does come off like aggressive and mean spirited, and he does that throughout the episode.
Yeah.
Then Taylor loves this approach to how he treats her and goes,
She's like,
"Someone's trying to get me drunk."
Yeah.
And
I was like, I think he hates you.
yeah, or he feels like I don't really understand, because JT points it out. He's like, why are you doing this, Shep? You're like, even though you're treating her like shit, like she's used to that or whatever, and like, it makes her think that you're giving her attention because you like her again.
Right. Okay, so then they go to dinner. They're trying to figure out the seating chart. Someone asked JT how he's feeling, and he said, feeling short, stout, and confident. And Madison said, welcome to my life.
Yeah, that was sweet. Also, Madison left a seat at the end, like at the head of the table, and she was like, who's going to be brave enough to sit here? I don't remember.
I think Whitney did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then Rod said he has a hairy ass.
Yep. Rod has actually, I think Rod wanted to shave his back,
Yeah.
and JT has a hairy ass.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So they were talking about that. Is this when the oxtail and all the food comes out?
Yes. Also, this is when Shep says he was last in Jamaica in college 22 years ago.
Right.
And Vanita's like, I'm 29. That's crazy.
She's
and then
figuring out different ages that
she's doing the math
that people have.
And then, this is where they get served the horny goat. And I don't even know who said it. Is it JT that says it or Rod? Rod says, you are what you eat, Austin.
Yeah. And then Austin sort of lets that roll off his back. He doesn't get too into it, even though...
Well, he says, ask the 3 out of the 4 girls here.
Yeah.
Which, did you think that meant that he was admitting to doing more with Taylor, or just that he has had some form of relations with 3 of 4?
I imagine just some relationship, but not like full sex. Because I don't think he would have been that,
dumb.
Yeah, that dumb to like call that out. I felt like this dinner was slightly awkward overall.
Yeah.
Right? I just felt like once Paige was not there, they just had no purpose for this trip. So if they would have called it anything else, like let's get away or whatever, like it would have been more fun, or like it would have been, they would have not felt so out of sorts. But and then anyway, I just felt like it was like sort of uncomfortable this entire dinner.
Right. And then this is when Shep starts bullying Taylor because she says food in different countries is so much better.
Yeah.
And Shep's like, which countries have you been to? You said countries, like list them, name them.
And then she does, right? Dominican
right.
Republic, Trinidad.
Right. And I'm like, did she just mean like islands? Like, because then we know she went to Europe.
Yeah, right.
Like she only lists. I was confused. And
why
then
why did he call her out on that?
Yeah.
Why didn't she say more countries?
Yeah. You could tell she was like, Shep's always acting like he's so much more well-traveled and worldly than me, and she was like, duh, you're like way older than me.
Right.
Which is true. But yeah, at this point Craig seems wasted.
Yes, his like hair gets all disheveled.
Yeah.
Shep is like, I'm gonna go stand in the water for a second. They start to like get away from the table, right? And then immediately some of them go to a bar, some of them go into that chair with ants in it where Vanita is,
Right.
and then Austin immediately goes to Madison, and they have, I thought, the best part of the episode was this conversation.
Yeah.
I thought, because
It was civilized.
no one has ever hated each other more. Well, obviously, yes, there has been, but they had such an antagonistic relationship for so long.
Yeah.
And then finally, it was like these two heavyweights, can come together again and just realize they have shared history, but they're both over each other. And then Madison says, Austin, how are you doing? I got to talk to you. Madison goes, I know what's going on with you. You love Taylor. And he laughs. And I was like, what the hell is she talking about?
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
He's like, that's not what I was expecting you to say.
Yeah. And I don't feel that. I don't think he feels it. So Madison just like went on a leap. It's like she got like an update from a long time ago, like from 4 episodes ago, when there was like, that was sort of plausible.
Yeah.
And now it's like, it seems like we're so far past that he kind of just like laughs at
I know. Yeah. And so then she's like, you know, if that is a road you want to go down, you shouldn't feel bad about it. Like, she basically says Shep is the most selfish motherfucker in the world.
Yes.
You shouldn't worry about hurting him because, like, who cares?
Yes.
And then it cuts over to Olivia and Craig being like, well, look at this.
Yes.
Look at these exes flirting.
So this was the most interesting part to me. So I loved this Madison and Austin talk, and I felt like it was like a sweet conversation that you'd have with someone that you used to love, that now you can just be normal with or whatever. And then Craig and Olivia have the worst interpretation of this conversation, like that Madison and Austin are flirting with each other, possibly going to like rekindle on this trip, like just the exact opposite of actually what's going on.
Right. And Olivia is basically like, Austin is fake as fuck because all he does is talk shit and say horrible stuff about Madison, and now here they are all chummy. And then Taylor's like, yeah, how would you feel, basically implying that Madison's husband would be offended by this conversation.
It's two people who used to date talking to each other.
Yeah, there's nothing inappropriate about it. But then Shep's like, I wouldn't care at all. And they're like, of course you wouldn't. Like, shut the fuck up. We're not asking you. Right. And he goes, yeah, I wouldn't care because I'm evolved.
Which that is a patronizing thing for Shep to say. But in this instance, he's actually right. There was nothing nefarious here. And Olivia really is like, it's breaking her brain that he ever talked to her. Like, she's so jealous of this interaction. Right. And then we find, as Madison pries further, it's like a therapy session with Madison. Austin goes, all of this Taylor stuff and all of this thing was just a deflection from my true feelings. I'm actively going to therapy now to process my feelings about Olivia. And then it ends with him, I think, saying, I love Olivia, right? Yeah,
he's basically like, what is wrong with me that I can't just be happy with this person who is perfect?
Yeah.
But I don't know if I believe him.
I don't know. The way he was smiling and getting a little emotional, not fully crying, like he didn't take it all the way. He was drunk. Yeah. Definitely drunk. There's more drinking that was going on that I don't even think we saw. They probably like sped this thing up and chopped it to shit. So he was drunk. But I don't know. I have to believe now, the amount of times Austin has said it, unless he's just lying his ass off for the camera and for a narrative, I do think he must have some strong feelings for Olivia that border on love. I mean, he said love a lot of times. That would be a wild word to be reckless to someone who's grieving, who's going through this tough time. Right. Like, why say that? Unless he's, horrible, which I don't think Austin is like that horrible of a person. Right. So maybe this is a drunken revelation or whatever, but I just like that I like that he let us all know and let Madison know that this Taylor shit is all bullshit. Like a smokescreen. The true feelings is that he loved Olivia more than he ever wanted to admit to himself. Whether that's true or not, I like that the Taylor chapter is closed. Right. And it's all about Olivia now.
Yeah. Taylor's going to be pissed.
Yes, of course. Of course. Yeah. So just overall, I mean, this episode to me was not that great. I think that the fact that the trip happens halfway through, and then, like you said, there's so much lead up to the trip. I mean, we're watching people check into hotel rooms, the training scene with Craig and Austin where they're just like trying to figure out what to talk about, shopping. It just wasn't great. And then this dinner wasn't that awesome, that much fun. It did, though, then, like, finally this Austin Madison conversation I felt was great. And then I liked all of the reactions to it, that it kind of like everyone was so stunned that Austin and Madison would ever talk to each other, and it turned out to be this just innocent, sweet conversation. Right.
I'm not even totally clear on what the catalyst for that conversation was. Like, they just sat down, they're like let's have a seat.
I think
you know what I mean?
Yeah, Madison was just like, how are you feeling? And then she was like, I know you. I can read you like a book.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you know me? And he was like, yeah. And she was like, yeah, I do. And then I know what you're going through now. You love Taylor. And she's
Right.
just fully off base. And then
Yeah.
it starts to, as he gets deeper and deeper into it, then he starts to talk about his real feelings. So it went from like a normal conversation and got deep really quick.
Right.
And I did like that they could finally, we already said it, but it is sweet that they've come to this place now where it's like, you guys loved something about each other in the past. Like, you guys
Yeah.
are an iconic duo, too powerful to exist.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that this thing got shut down.
Yeah.
But I like that they can finally but I think it gets bad again.
Okay. I mean,
Pretty sure, yeah.
probably. Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Well,
yeah. I mean, how did you feel? Am I speaking out of school? Did you like this episode?
it was fine. Was there anything on the preview that made it seem like it was going to get juicy or?
So all the scenes I've seen are like JT soaking wet, headbutting Austin, them like partying a little harder, Madison screaming at Austin. So a lot of the moments that I think are going to be saved for next episode.
Okay.
So I think this trip will definitely ramp up. It's just, I don't think this episode, that dinner was enough to like be the central focus of this episode. But I think it's going to get better. It will, I'm sure.
Okay. Cool. Should we head over from Jamaica to Bermuda?
Yes. And
Salt Lake.
And Salt Lake City structured the episode properly. Wake up and get to Bermuda within like 1 minute.
Totally.
Right?
What was this episode called?
It was called Bermuda Views and Bathtub Blues.
I wrote down Bermuda Blues and Bathtub Blues.
You said Bermuda two
I said
blues?
blues twice.
That's great. This episode had a lot for me as a Salt Lake City fan who is loving this season. Finally, I mean, I want to just talk generally about it. First of all, it was just so funny to watch Meredith have this full-blown breakdown, bathtub-related breakdown for the entire episode.
Yeah.
She could not stop talking about it. I love that. But then I finally got what I have wanted for a very long time, for almost 2 seasons, which is Heather versus Whitney.
Yeah.
This long-running secret feud that Whitney has with Heather finally came out in full force at this dinner.
Yeah.
Like, that is like the secret underlying rift that is going on in Salt Lake City that they finally start to address. And it was awesome. That dinner was amazing.
Yeah, it was good. Okay, I just want to quickly say that Angie had a zit on her forehead, so she put bling on it, but then she was like, it didn't look right, so I put 3. So there's just 3 crystals on her forehead, and I was like, that's kind of iconic.
Yeah, no, it was fun. That's fun that Angie did that.
I was like, oh, you're like weird.
She's weird. I like Angie. I was wrong. I like her.
She's growing on me.
She's growing on me. I think she does some stuff for the show that is inauthentic. This feud with Meredith keeps continuing for way too long, but I do think if she's not doing inauthentic fake shit, she is going to just be a fun person in the mix as just someone who's odd, who's putting pimple patches on their forehead and stuff. And she was actually pretty good this episode. I mean, she has a little bit of a flare up with Meredith in the Sprinter van.
Oh, right.
Or bus or whatever it was. But other than that, I think she was enjoyable to have on this trip.
Yeah. So yeah, basically the second they land, it's clear that Meredith is going through something.
So Meredith popped 2 Xanny bars, right?
Yeah. Everyone took sleeping pills, but apparently she took twice as many.
Yeah.
And then she's like freezing cold in the van. She's like, can you please turn up the heat? And everyone's like, no, like what the
Heather
hell?
goes, this is not Meredith's trip. We are not doing anything for Meredith. She can be cold as hell. Here's a blanket. And then, for the first half of this episode, Meredith is like succumbing to something. She's cold as hell. She's weak.
Oh my God. Yeah. When they're like touring the house, she looks like she's going to die.
She's sleeping. And Heather did the thing. I'm pretty sure it was Heather who said, when they get to this beautiful home, did you think that home was like one of the best?
I love Heather all like, great job, Heather.
Right, I know.
This is amazing.
And Heather's taking it. She's like, I picked a great place.
Yeah.
But Heather does the thing, instead of making it a belabored mess to get the room, she just goes, go nuts, everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody scatters off. And then Meredith is like, what are we, in high school? So she doesn't get the room that she wants, and she gets the only one without a bathtub.
Right.
I wanted to ask you, because there's too much of it to not talk about. Meredith in bathtubs.
Yeah.
So Meredith one time took a bath when Jen Shaw got indicted, the indictment or whatever, and she went to the house early, and then she was in a bath and she was relaying that news. Since then, Meredith has made bathtubs her thing.
Yeah.
Do you think it's actually central to her identity, and she really does like taking a bath, or is this a thing where it's like Lisa with Rosé, where once it becomes a thing, it reinforces itself more, and you're like, this is my brand.
Right. I mean, she even at one point posed in a bathtub at BravoCon.
Right.
Like, it's a whole thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure she does like taking baths, but
But doesn't everyone, I guess?
right.
You know, it's
well,
like,
Heather doesn't. She said she doesn't take baths.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I
But
just,
yeah,
I
I'm
just didn't know how much I'm supposed to believe this thing.
Right.
But then the amount of time Meredith talked about it and brought it up and said how sad she feels that all of her friends treated her like that, and also talked about it with Monica, I was like, damn, I think Meredith does love a bath. And she goes, I was so cold, and the one thing that could have warmed me up was a warm bath, and you guys deprived me of a bath. I was like, damn, does Meredith actually love baths?
It's like she's dying of consumption or something, and they're like, we must warm her in the bath.
Yeah, so Meredith, Meredith is just out for the count for the full first day until dinner. She has to... I liked them showing production going, Meredith, are you okay?
Yeah,
what
they
happened
text
on
her.
that?
They're like, we're not doing the reality reckoning. We need to make sure she's good.
Right.
And then we get the conversation where it's revealed that Whitney and Lisa still haven't talked since their last kerfuffle.
Yes.
And then Heather, were you slightly confused about the message being relayed where Heather tells Lisa that Whitney was like, I'm teaching her to be a better person by being her friend?
No, I liked it because it's true. I think Whitney has said things to that effect about Lisa, that Lisa used to be a cold, callous person, and that Whitney has brought her out of her shell and brought warmth to Lisa.
Right.
And I think there is 20% of Heather is using that against Whitney to say, hey, Whitney says weird shit about you.
Only 20%?
I think so, because
she was acting like, what? Like, you don't think that's true?
Yeah, I know. I like. Yeah, you're right. That was when Heather said that, when she was like, "Oh, what? Well, Whitney doesn't make you a better person," like very skeptically or whatever. I did think, Heather's bringing this out into the open because it is a slight against Whitney.
Yeah,
but I do think Whitney has to. I don't know. I guess I'm being a hypocrite because I would hate if someone just like stirred the pot with someone to tell someone, what someone else said bad about them and then to like create conflict. But I actually thought that Lisa should know this about Whitney, that Whitney just wrote her off and was horrible to her at Meredith's jewelry party.
Yeah.
So I think she should know that Whitney's going around town saying, I'm making Lisa a better person.
Right.
Because then ultimately we get this amazing fight when Lisa like learns this and she's shocked by this revelation.
Right. So then Monica goes and checks on Meredith. Meredith is like, talk about mumble mouth McGee. I was like, what are you saying? Meredith, that is.
Right.
And she's pissed off about the bathtub. And I love that Monica's like listening to her and being like, totally, like, Meredith's like, everyone here, it just shows the level of respect I get from these women that they wouldn't, give me the room with the bathtub. Zero respect.
Right.
And I'm like, Monica also took a room with a bathtub.
Right, and she won't give it to you. Right, exactly. Right, and she won't give it to you. Yeah, so then Meredith gets like the IV drip. A medic comes for her. Monica's checking on her, trying to get her food. They all go do a rum tasting, right, outside, right?
Yeah. I think that the image of her like dead in bed is going to be iconic.
Yeah.
Like that's felt instantly memeable.
Yes. Yeah, and I liked what Lisa said about Meredith. She was like, she sure knows how to churn butter because she's good at milking things or whatever. That was kind of fun. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, and then, Monica said at the rum tasting that she didn't start drinking until her 30s after she was excommunicated.
Yeah, I was shocked by that.
That's interesting. Also, I just saw while we were taping, I think during the Certified Turtle Piss break, that Monica posted her mugshot. I don't know when it's from.
Yeah, me neither. I saw that too.
Yeah.
And they added it to the row of Bravo mugshots now.
Yeah. But like, when was that from and what was it for?
I don't know. We got to look into that right after this and find out.
Yeah. Meredith gets glammed in bed. She's going to rally and go out tonight.
I was shocked that she made it to dinner.
I know.
When she came out of those doors into the bus or whatever,
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe
She also
overcame.
drinks wine the entire night. I was
Yeah.
like, weren't you like on death's door like an hour ago?
Yeah. So we're getting to the dinner, right?
Yep.
Okay.
They're in the van. Meredith brings up the bath in the van. She was like, I was white as a ghost.
Yeah. I was white as a ghost, and this just shows the level of respect that you guys don't have for me, that you would never give me you wouldn't give me a bath, right?
Right.
And then Heather was like, who should have traded rooms with you, right?
Yeah. And they show a clip of Whitney having taken a bath earlier.
Right.
Which obviously they got that footage, so they knew what they were doing.
Right.
And then her and Angie get into it. I don't even know how it happened. Angie says Meredith is classless.
Yeah, I forget what it was. It was something that I guess when Meredith was walking around like on death's door, she made a comment about how Heather could have her own room so that she could like spread her legs to bring a guy back or something.
Yeah.
And Meredith was alluding to what Angie said about her spreading her legs and scissoring Jen Shaw or whatever. So that was a dig from Meredith about Angie.
Okay.
So then Angie brought it back up, and then they get into it. But this feud is running on fumes.
Yeah.
And Monica even says it. She's like, if I have to hear any more about this, I'm going to threaten both of their families. It's just, it's enough.
Yeah.
You both know what you did here. Meredith technically threatened to ruin Angie's life, but it's enough. It's time to move past this.
Right.
This can't last for much longer.
Right.
And then it definitely gets sidelined at dinner, finally. When they all are sitting down, they're ordering drunken mussels. It's an okay dinner. And then Whitney just decides, I think, right? The first person to say something, Whitney goes, Lisa, you really hurt my feelings. Uh-huh. And then Lisa is ready for this. And Lisa goes in back on Whitney and says, you treated me like shit. I was crying. You left me upset. You treated me horribly. I was walking on eggshells with you. I didn't know what to do. I felt horrible after that interaction.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like Heather and gets like pulled in the mix. Like Whitney is saying that she's in the middle between Heather and Lisa previously.
Yeah. So then Lisa goes, oh, and also another thing, I just heard that you've been going around town saying that you make me a better person from Heather. And then Whitney, again, like is so upset with Heather. Like, I think she like despises Heather. So the minute that she learns that Heather told, what she said about Lisa, she's like, why are you meddling in our friendship? Why would you ever meddle? And Heather is like taken aback. She's like, I am not meddling. I said what you said to her, which, I guess there's no other way to look at that other than Heather was stirring shit up between Lisa and Whitney. So I can understand a little bit why Whitney was mad. But then Whitney takes it to such an extreme degree to where she's like, everyone is so jealous of Lisa and I's friendship. If you knew the sanctity of our friendship, you would be stunned by what we have going on. And then Lisa almost laughs because Whitney has such a different interpretation, I think, than even she has of their friendship. And then Heather is there the entire time laughing at this, going, what the hell happened between you guys where the first person you wanted to be comforted by after your friend's death was Lisa? She like missed this whole arc of their friendship where she's just like stunned by it.
Right. She's like, we talk every day. And Lisa was like, we talk a lot.
Yeah, we talk a lot.
Like she didn't want to own it. She was like, well.
Yeah.
And then at one point, Whitney tells Heather to shut the fuck up.
And Heather was legitimately as pissed as I've ever seen her. She says,
shut the fuck up.
Yeah. She goes, I'm pissed. And I don't think, she can't tolerate Whitney talking to her like that because they're cousins. They have such history here. And Whitney is writing her off. Whitney even says at one point, I think you're jealous that I don't crawl up your ass anymore. And now I crawl up Lisa's ass.
Right. Yeah. Whitney said Heather's triggered by her friendship with Lisa. And in her confessional, Heather says that Whitney's delusional about her level of friendship with Lisa.
Yep.
But then, okay, so it's like so dramatic. Heather's like, let's get the fuck out of here. This dinner sucked, whatever. But I can't imagine after that raucous of an argument, Whitney falls asleep on the bus ride home.
So I think Whitney was drunk as hell.
Okay.
Because when she said, shut the fuck up, Heather, I think even that, she didn't realize how strong that was. Heather wasn't that drunk.
Yeah.
So saying shut the fuck up to Heather, I think she almost tried to walk that back almost in the moment because it was sort of,
Right.
so disrespectful.
She was like, why did you tell me to shut the fuck up? And she goes, 'cause I can.
Yeah. But then last week when we were talking about how Whitney was so upset that Lisa got Heather a gift,
Yeah.
and that took her, that just made her so upset. It's like something is going on with Whitney where she is so insecure and jealous of her friendship with Lisa for some reason.
Right.
I don't really even understand it. And now she's transferred all of the love that she used to have for Heather to Lisa. And it seems very one-sided that Lisa's just like, and I think Heather says something like, you don't need any help ruining your relationship with Lisa. You're going to do that on your own,
Yeah.
possibly right now at this dinner.
Yeah.
Because she kind of does the thing where she doesn't play it cool at all. She
Yeah.
kind of shows Lisa all her cards saying like, I love you. I love you so much. You're my best
Right.
friend. We talk every day.
Right.
And then you're right. Then it's ramped up as hell.
Yeah.
And then Whitney is just KO'd on the bus.
Yeah, she's like drooling.
I feel like they're all sort of in the thralls of their 2 sleeping pills or one that
Right.
they did. I
Yeah,
think
and
they're
jet
all like,
lagged.
yeah.
Yeah, they're not used to going on these international trips.
Did you see that Heather shared the video that they took of Whitney sleeping in the bus?
With the Mentos.
Yeah, well, they did that, but then Heather did another one where they film Whitney sleeping, and Lisa sings her "Away in a Manger" song to Whitney.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very fun. It was sweet.
Do you think it seemed like they forced them all to leave dinner early or something because they all were eating leftovers at home, like they were so hungry still?
Well, the storm happens.
Okay.
So Heather was like, or Monica says, you brought the storm or whatever.
Right.
I thought it was good of Monica to know when to lay low.
Yeah.
And she didn't try to insert herself in this thing. She didn't try to like go after Lisa for some reason or do anything. She kind of just took a back seat, which is exactly what I want people to do. And Angie too. Angie didn't try to like break a glass and say
Right.
Opa or whatever again. I love
Yeah.
that they just let that thing rip.
Yeah. At one point, Meredith was like, Angie, at least it's not us.
Yeah. And Monica was like, I'm glad it's not me now too.
Yeah. But then when they're back at home eating leftovers, Whitney's like, I could beat Heather's ass. I do Muay Thai. And I was
Yeah.
like, why are we talking about this? She was like, Heather would like you to believe that she could kick my ass, but it's opposite.
Yeah, and then she's like, Angie, who do you think would win? And Angie goes, Heather, no offense.
I mean, I feel like Heather could like fling. I mean, Whitney's scrappy, but Heather's strong.
I mean, Heather would beat the shit out
Be
of her.
for real?
Yeah. Then we get this new like plot line, new through line, which is that Meredith and Monica are having this little wine dinner, eating their leftovers or whatever. Monica says this very long-winded
God.
story of this whole through line that we haven't heard about until now.
Yeah.
That while they were talking about Angie possibly being in the Greek mafia, I don't know who the hell brought that up, and it doesn't sound real at all, that someone immediately DM'd them and said, hey, you got to see all this shit that we know about Angie and
deep
Sean.
throat.
Yes, bankruptcy, tax liens, like so much shit. And it's like, oh, I don't know, it's not that bad.
Meredith let her hang on this
Yes,
one.
and then Monica goes, so you know those DMs that we both got? And Meredith
And she goes, I'm so behind on my DMs. She just goes, I don't know anything about it.
no, and you can just tell that Meredith is like purposefully letting Monica just have this moment on her own.
Monica's like, yeah.
So that was weird. Yeah, it's very funny. It's very funny of Meredith to do that. It's like I'm not doing this with you right now at all.
Yeah, she's like, nice try.
Yeah.
She set her up. It's
and
like,
I feel like Monica feels like is nervous that she's the one who brought it
Right.
up with no support.
it's giving Munchausen.
Totally.
Like, I feel like
Exactly.
that's happened multiple times where the puppeteers
You're exactly
tee up the tea, but they're like, I didn't say it. You did.
That is actually the exact comparison when Lisa and who else was with her with Lisa Rinna?
Kyle.
Oh yeah, when Lisa and Kyle just sat there while Lisa Rinna was talking about the Munchausen stuff, and they were just like, "Oh, well, we've never ever thought of anything like that in our lives." Lisa, that's a full you theory. You know what I
She's
mean?
like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, oh God, did I really just say that on camera with no backup? Oh my God, Yolanda was so pissed at her. That was
Oh
awesome.
man, yeah, good times. So yeah, now there's gonna be this whole mafia storyline where next week Angie's like, there is no ties to the, like she says, whatever the last name is. It's like the most Greek last name ever.
right.
Which
Yeah.
I'm like, Salt Lake City has Greek mafia?
I guess so, but I think, I don't know, leave Angie alone for a little bit. Right?
Yeah. So I feel like Monica's trying to make a moment happen. She's trying to lead the charge on this, which is
But
weird.
she wanted a Meredith and Monica moment, a combined moment against Angie.
Right. But I'm like, why does Monica have beef with Angie?
You know, she started the season. It's a trope for two first-time cast members to feud with each other, to like try to take the other one down. So I think Monica is just doing what most people have done before her. I wish she wouldn't do it. And then she thought Meredith would back her up because of her hatred for Angie. But Meredith said, no, thank you. I want nothing to do with this. And now that's going to be a lonely Monica journey. And then I think now we know why Monica and Angie are not currently friends. Because this will probably last for the rest of the season. We're almost at the end of this season, by the way.
Whoa.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 more episodes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Good season, I think.
Yeah, it has been good. I keep just ticking down to, it's so crazy. It's going to be Vanderpump season.
I know. I mean, in a month, or, 6 weeks probably.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wild.
Okay, so
All right. Well, I was entertained.
yeah, I know.
I thought it was good.
I like this episode specifically. I think it was just, you got to go with them on a trip. I thought the Meredith bathtub stuff was funny, just how much she talked about it the entire episode and how sleepy she was and cold or whatever, But then I just think that I've been so waiting for this Heather and Whitney, feud to come out, and that it was just, it was shocking when we finally saw them actually fight.
Yeah.
So that was good. Maybe not the best episode, but it was still, I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Cool.
All right. Are we ready for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Dazed and Accused?
Yes, let's do it. We Dinner from Hell,
Yes.
right?
Part 2.
So it continues right where we left off with Kyle saying, I don't drink because it makes me too depressed.
Yes.
And
she can't afford to feel depressed right now.
Yeah.
She says to Sutton, she's basically like, I've already brought up my problems in my marriage. You already know about them. Yes. She goes, I've had these conversations with Faye, basically implying, Sutton's like, all right, well, I guess maybe I thought we were closer than we really are. Yeah. I guess you only talked to Faye about that stuff.
Right.
They show the Name 'em clip.
Again. Right.
Yep. And she goes, I think Sutton says, what did she say? She says, I'm sorry for how that conversation went, and I'm sorry for how you treated me as well.
Yes.
And Kyle goes, thank you for apologizing on my behalf.
Right.
And I think she says, you're welcome.
Sutton is really taking to heart way too much that Kyle stormed out on that very awkward, uncomfortable encounter with Sutton. Like, Kyle had every right to get out of there when she started saying name them over and over again. Right. I mean, it's just like, I don't know why Sutton feels like that was the one, like too much of a hurdle for her to get over, that Kyle has to apologize. Kyle was just like, I want to get out of here. You're alluding to Mauricio cheating on me. Right.
Yeah.
Then it's sort of like that. I think Sutton says something like, I'm satisfied with all of your answers. So like, we don't need to talk about this anymore.
Yeah.
So then it's now, I think it goes around the table a little bit. I don't know if you noted anything before then, but then Denise wants a little piece.
Oh, right. Yeah. I just, right before that happens is when Erica says that she would love to have a love affair like in the movies. And then in her confessional, Sutton says, you did have a love affair. It was like Harold and Maude, but in reverse. And I was like, is that the only example you can think of like because Harold and Maude is like, I don't know. I think that's a bad example.
Yeah, I could have been better. I think she just kind of thought that was the first one that came to mind. She should have probably. I don't know. There's not a lot of actually examples of movies though where an older person loves a younger person.
She could have just taken the Anna Nicole Smith route, but I guess that's not like in the movies.
Right. I think so. Yeah.
But anyways, I felt like that was another example of Sutton saving her juice for when she's safe in the confines of the confessional.
yeah, she's good at confessionals, but doesn't really unleash much of that stuff in person,
Right.
except against Kyle. What was that scene where they showed where Erica was like, I used to have a good relationship with a lot of people in town, and they showed this like kind of long 15-second scene where they were meeting with that
Yeah.
police officer.
Yeah,
or
I
the,
think it was like the sheriff, like the LA sheriff or something.
what was the
It was like a power
to
lunch.
show that they were like well connected.
Yeah.
But like it was too long.
Yeah.
Like, it was like I don't remember that moment at all, and I don't see why that's relevant.
I kind of love it because to me it was like they were so chummy with him that first of all I'm like, I don't even want to know the weird shady shit that's going on between like in the legal system with
Right.
like him being broed
Right.
down with the cops. But it is like an example of Erica being his, trophy wife who's like, she's like the politician's wife. Like she knows all of the characters in town and is sort of like playing a role.
Right.
Like that scene they showed because she said she calls her marriage an arrangement.
She did.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I heard
Yeah,
that. Wow.
she said like she basically called it an arrangement and said that she doesn't want like Tom had his entire life like was the priority and then she fit into his life, and she said next time she wants to have her own life and for someone else to have their own life and for them to like come together.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I'm very interested in the whole like it wasn't even, I mean it was I guess like a sugar daddy type arrangement, but like we talked about before, that's hard work. Like she had to earn those checks.
Oh, yeah.
Like she had to be on all the time for however 10 years or however long
Yeah.
they were together.
And he was mean. That clip they always show
my
where he goes,
God.
"Excuse me, Erica, I'm talking."
With
You remember?
Lisa and
Yeah.
everyone. Yeah.
Excuse me, Erica. Yeah, I didn't like that.
That was
so you don't
terrible.
think you don't think she truly loved Tom?
I mean, maybe eventually she did. But like that's the thing, whenever people are so judgmental about like quote gold diggers or whatever, I'm like, she's the one that has to do it.
Yeah. I'm not very anti big wide age ranges.
Yeah.
I just don't think who cares?
Yeah. But it is, she's kind of giving Lala in the sense that she was always like, oh, he can fuck, baby. And you're like, no, he can't.
I remember when she specifically said that exactly. He can fuck, baby.
Because
you're right.
remember Lisa, when they first met, was like, does he still get it up? And I'm like, Ken is like basically that old. So,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, and then Denise, turns around. She's hearing Erica talk about how perfect love she wants, and Denise goes something like, "I've got a bone to pick with
like,
you."
points at her.
She goes, "You treated me bad
the
when
faces
I met you." Yeah.
that Denise is making
Yeah.
throughout this episode are something to behold.
So she's drunk as hell. I
Yeah.
have to. I'm blaming it all on drunk.
Yeah.
'Cause she doesn't smoke weed. She says, "I
Yeah.
believe her." I think she just did 4 tequila shots or 5 tequila shots right before she got here.
Everyone's very confused.
Yes. And she goes, "You treated me bad. I met you. You were wonderful. Then you had a different dynamic, and you know what you did." And Erica goes, "I'm sorry. I don't really know what we're talking about here." And
You know what I'm talking about.
and she goes, "I really don't. Can you please tell me?" And
She kept telling the same. She couldn't spit it out. She said like 3 times that
She goes,
how nice Erica
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
originally.
And then everyone goes, "Okay, Denise, any examples? Are there any
Yeah.
examples of what Erica has done to you?" And she goes, "Go watch the show." She goes, and then she goes, "Why don't you take a minute, go watch the show, and come back?" It's like, that would be so funny if Erica was like, "Okay, let me go see what you're talking
Yeah,
about
she's like,
here."
do you know which episode?
Yeah.
Like,
I like that Denise also has to break the fourth wall anytime she's on camera. That's
Yeah.
kind of silly.
they, basically everyone is like, can you, like, I think like both Kyle and Sutton and like everyone's like,
Yes.
but what do you
And-
mean? Because
and
we
she-
don't know either.
Yes, and no one does, and I
No.
didn't as a viewer.
I
was
still don't. The thing that she ends up saying, it doesn't make sense.
It was the only thing that Denise did that was notable in her entire however many season run, 2-season run, that people were talking about sex too close to her her kids at the dinner table that she talked about for
And I'm like, you
5
literally
episodes.
talk about getting a happy ending from
No.
your husband in a
Yeah.
medical
No.
office.
No, the fact that it was that I was stunned. I was like, I don't.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
No. So I think she had a clear idea that she wanted to stir up shit at the dinner too, and be like Sutton and Kyle, and like, you know, do something notable at this weed dinner, and then just could not spit out what the hell it was.
Yeah.
And then she had to resort to a fourth wall break because she couldn't explain herself within the confines of the show.
Yeah.
Without breaking the fourth wall, and then no one's on her side here.
No.
Garcelle is on her side. It's just like Denise is so drunk.
Yeah. They cut to Crystal in her confessional, and she can't even come up with anything fun to say. She just laughs
Yeah, that
for like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
and she just
that-
goes, "What? Bitch, what?"
Yeah, that was really embarrassing.
And I was like, you can't like come up with anything to say?
Yeah, she was like, I don't even want to like think about it. It was such a bad confessional. It was so. And Crystal is definitely trying to heighten her appearance in these, or her
Yeah.
energy in these confessionals, and this was just another just completely off base take. It
Yeah.
was just not funny at all. She's just laughing to herself.
It was terrible.
Then Sutton, I thought was interesting. Sutton, you know, keeps on giving. This season, she lights up a huge joint at the table.
Yeah.
And starts smoking weed in front of everyone, and Erica is stunned by Sutton because I think
Yeah.
Erica is the only one that was actually high.
Yeah, at one point she said, "I am so confused and high."
Yeah.
But then to end the Denise thing, she goes, "Well, you know, Denise, I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
Oh,
Denise."
right.
And Denise goes, "You're welcome."
Wow, I didn't notice that. Wow, you're welcome after that. That's the best way to receive an apology.
They cut to the chef in the kitchen, and he goes, "Dude, Denise Richards is fucked up."
That was awesome. That was so great. And then I think, is this when they sort of get away from the table for a second? Like, or they
Yeah.
start to all leave. And
Yeah.
Denise is drunk as hell.
Yeah, she's like mumbling to herself.
She goes,
"How does she not know?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "She's a fucking dumb fuck."
yeah. She also, as she's walking and Kyle and Sutton and everybody are helping her, she goes, "This too?" And she like looks and like points at like Kyle's house, and no one knows what the fuck she's talking about.
Everyone keeps making eyes at each other like, what the hell?
Yeah, and then when she tries to explain herself in the solace of her friends, she still can't do it right at all.
Like, she's basically waiting for them to leave the table to
Yes.
go up to like Garcelle and Kyle and Dorit to be like, "Can you believe that shit?"
Yeah, like how does she not remember the thing I'm talking about that I can't explain at all and I haven't said once? And they're like, Denise, even Sutton's like, I'm sorry, Denise, we don't really know what you're saying. I don't think
Yeah.
you got your point across. Then Dorit has, I think, the most iconic moment in the episode, one of the funniest things I've ever seen in her life. Dorit, with, I think, good intentions,
Yeah.
for the most part, goes up to Denise, says, "Honey, I think your jacket is upside down,"
Yeah.
right?
They roll the clip of her when she arrived versus now, and her jacket is certainly upside down.
Yeah,
And Denise goes, "Don't do this."
I know what you're doing. And it's like, what is Dorit doing? Why? She's saying your jacket is upside down.
She's like, "I'm just telling you about your jacket." And she goes, "I don't give a flying ass fuck about a jacket."
Dorit doesn't care. She goes, "I swear, I think your jacket is upside down."
And she's like, "Don't do this." And then she starts getting like all pissed off. And Dorit's like, "Okay, can you like take it down a notch? Like, seriously, chill. Like, you're freaking me out." And then finally she is like, "All right, I'm gonna go." And Kyle walks her out, and everyone's like, "What the hell?"
Yes. Yeah, it was wild. And then once she's gone, everyone I think is just stunned at how drunk
I know.
Denise was.
It's sad that couldn't have brought them all together. It
No.
wasn't enough.
No.
Dorit narcs out Sutton about how she said that when they asked where Kyle went, Sutton said, "In denial somewhere."
I don't know why I'm enjoying now ratting someone out in these two episodes that we just talked about, because I think it's justified that Dorit says that Sutton said that at the same dinner. You know? What?
And then Kyle immediately is like, "Sutton, what am I in denial about?" And then they cut over to Erica, who's like high as fuck, and she goes, "Insanity."
Yeah. I think it's sort of notable how long this Kyle and Sutton feud has, because it's been, what, 3 episodes of this where every time they get together, they can't not fight.
Yeah.
I usually think in normal feuds, there's a little bit of a reprieve for a couple episodes, and then it might flare up. But this is like every single time they see each other.
It has not been resolved.
No. And then Sutton takes it low as hell, right? So Kyle is like... Kyle implies that Sutton was drunk as hell. She says, "I didn't know if that was your first drink or your 5th drink."
Right.
Sutton says, "I was on gabapentin."
Oh, wow.
Which you know,
I give
so
that to my cat.
I give that to George. I was just gonna say that.
She also, then the food thing comes up, and Sutton's like, how dare you accuse me of not eating when you know
Yes.
I have that esophageal disorder.
Right. Something that Kyle knows.
Yeah, and Kyle's kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't even know what that is. Like, fuck off.
Now there is I am still on Kyle's side more than Sutton's. I like both of them.
Yeah.
But I do think Sutton now has enough ammunition from Kyle that she can be just as aggrieved by Kyle's actions. Kyle said out loud that she doesn't eat. And
Yeah.
if she does have this disorder, I don't know
Yeah.
if that's true or not, but if she does, Sutton could take that to heart to be like, you're making fun of my eating habits and I
Yeah.
have trouble eating.
Yeah.
Also, she said that story last week about, her husband
Yeah.
leaving to London.
Yeah.
I do think Sutton has legitimate grievances now against Kyle, but I think Kyle's grievances against Sutton sort of trump them, just in my view.
And then she immediately loses her leg to
Yes,
stand on
she
by
does.
going, you already lost 2 sisters. Do you want to lose a third? And it's like, do you really, that's like Kyle's biggest heartbreak
Yes.
in life.
And
Everyone's like, no.
yeah, everyone says it. Everyone says it. And also, but though, when she says that, you already lost 2 sisters, do you want to lose 3? She means herself?
Yeah.
What? She already was told by Kyle that don't flatter yourself about that.
Yeah.
I really don't understand why now Sutton is again saying, I'm like a sister to you, when Kyle already said, you're not really.
Right. And then it comes up that she's like, you knew what I was talking about regarding Kathy,
Yes.
basically. And she goes,
Yes.
and Sutton's like, I'll say it. And she said that Kathy was pissed off that she
Yes.
wasn't defending her in the press and called her and screamed at her.
Yes.
Which I'm like, this secret evil Kathy is like so scary.
Oh, yeah. And now there's enough evidence of this where I fully believe it.
Yeah.
Sutton got this call. She admitted it. And all Sutton said was that I think there's some back and forth where probably Lisa Rinna and Kathy, there's some truth to both sides.
Yeah.
It's like Kathy couldn't even let that come out.
Right. But then Kyle's pissed that Sutton didn't take her side during the reunion.
Yes.
She goes, you were really quiet at the reunion.
Yes.
I don't think she says the words reunion, but
No. And then it's also evil of Kathy. When you watch that reunion again, Kathy, when Kyle says, please don't let us end this reunion like this. She'll never talk to me again if we end like this. And Kathy goes, I think that's true. It's going to be a while. Something
Yeah.
to that effect where it's like, yeah, things aren't going to be good with us for a really long time. Like they use, we've already talked about this. They both, Kim and Kathy, use their love of Kyle as a weapon
Yeah.
to make her like have to be better to get their love again. That's
Right.
awful.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
there's multiple things that are relevant. I have just rapidly watched the Peacock season 2 of Paris in Love.
How is it?
And it's good. It's entertaining. But there's a lot of overlap because it's a similar timeline. And on the finale episode, it's Paris's concert performance at the Fonda in Hollywood, and her family goes, and there's a bunch of like celebrities there, but with her mom's group, Sutton is there.
Wow.
And Kim Richards, but not Kyle. And it's relevant. It comes up later, but when Kyle is talking to her kids and with Kim about Paris's baby and how she hasn't met him and how she found out on Instagram that baby was born. If you'd only watch Beverly Hills, you would say, wow, that's fucked up. Kyle's so out of the loop that she found out about her niece's baby on Instagram. But if you watch Paris in Love, you know that her baby was surrogate, like I was going to say born by a surrogate, carried by a surrogate.
Yeah.
And Paris didn't tell anyone, including her mom, her sister,
Whoa.
or anyone
The entire time?
until he was a week old.
Whoa.
Her mom came over and she said, this is my baby. They never knew he was being baked,
Whoa.
conceived,
Okay.
created.
So Kyle, take that into account.
Yeah.
No one.
No one knew. She literally, handed the baby to her mom at a week old and was like, surprise. And then they went over to her dad's house, her parents' house, and showed him. And they just FaceTimed Nikki, who was with Farrah at the time. So Nikki and Farrah found out on FaceTime when he was already a week old. And then if you were to believe the timeline of the show, they post on Instagram immediately after that. So it's like even if Farrah called
Yeah.
her mom, it would be like the same time it was posted on Instagram.
Okay, so Kyle, take that into consideration. Do you think that the dad Hilton, whatever his
Rick.
name is, Rick, do you think he watches any of this shit? The hundreds of hours that his family, thousands of hours that his family has been involved with on television, any of it?
No,
Wow.
I think he's kind of out of the loop.
Wow. Out of the loop.
But yeah, that show covers a lot of like Kathy being scary, how she threw Paris into that evil troubled teen institute
Of course.
where she was kidnapped in the dark of night.
Of course.
And she basically refuses to take any accountability for having done that.
I believe every bad thing about Kathy. I believe that we will never know to the extent to which she said horrific things in that bus to Lisa Rinna. And Lisa Rinna could barely even retain the horrors that Kathy unleashed. I also liked the scene where I was proud of Erica again, because I liked Erica this episode, and I was really proud when Erica just said point blank what Kathy said, which is that
Right.
she dropped a full blown F-bomb.
Yeah.
And said that old
The
F-bomb won't let me,
F-slur.
that F-slur won't let me play my song or whatever. And Erica goes, I'm sorry, I'm not a liar. I'm just saying exactly what you said. And Kathy goes, never, ever, ever would I use that language. And I'm like, you are lying right now.
Totally.
Completely.
I don't know who wouldn't believe that.
Right.
Yeah, and Erica says that she's like, the women fear Kathy because she can lock you out. And she's like, I've always been a lone wolf, so I'm not afraid.
I like that. I like that lone wolf
But
Erica.
that's true because it's like, I mean, first of all, Erica has already been smeared.
Yes.
Like her reputation is like
Yes.
ruined. And, you know, not to give her props or whatever, but she was always like, even though she was connected like in LA society or whatever, she was still like, I'm like low key like a dominatrix pop star, which
Right.
you know, is crazy that she did both and didn't care. Meanwhile, Sutton, the thing that everyone always talks shit about is that she cares so much about her reputation, which
Right.
happened at Magic Mike, where she was like, I'm on the board. Like, and I feel like Kathy is the type of world that Sutton cares about.
Yes.
So if anyone's going to be scared of Kathy, it's someone like her, because the society that they're both part of is the same,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, you're right.
Whereas Erica's like, I don't want to be in that stuffy ass society. Like, fuck that.
I love that. And another point for, I think Kyle, that she accurately assessed that.
Yeah. Did you like when after everyone left, Kyle's housekeeper was like, I don't like to see you upset. I love you.
Yeah, that
Like
was
the only friends she has left are her housekeeper.
that was so sweet. Kyle had the worst dinner of her life. It was so sad and horrible.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, this dinner was the entire focus of the episode, because then there was just basically 20 minutes of like the fallout from it,
Right.
basically, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that was like the huge highlight. And then they put some
Pickleball.
pickleball talking about Sutton's esophagus.
Yeah. It was funny that that Kyle really thought it was so funny when Anna Marie brought up the sphincter. And I was like, somebody's never had acid reflux, because it's all about the sphincter.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought she was making sort of a leap there.
No, it's like the thing that like releases acid. So like if you are, say, like anxious or I don't know, whatever happens, it causes your sphincter in your throat to be like malfunctioning. So like I'll sometimes get like heartburn when I'm like anxious. I think it's like a misfire.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And so like your sphincter will like release, or I guess in Sutton's case, it's like she can't get food down because it's not like opening.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Oh, so there's I'm
But
sorry.
there's a sphinx,
So there's a sphincter in your mouth?
your throat. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. This whole time I thought she was talking about the
Her
sphincter.
asshole.
Yeah, there's two sphincters.
Yeah, that's what at one point Anna Marie said. She's like, we have all kinds of sphincters.
Oh, I missed that. I thought she immediately brought it to Sutton's asshole was misfiring or whatever. Okay,
I think that's what Kyle thought too.
okay. Yeah,
But-
I'm on the Kyle page.
But it was actually quite relevant because she said she's a nurse, oh God, I'm not gonna be able to say that word.
Anesthetician?
Anesthetist.
Yeah, anesthetist. I think you're right.
Which like means she has to put shit down people's throats.
Wow.
Like that's what she does. So she knows all about it. And then when people kept coming through the door at this other lunch, I was like, what a bunk group. It was Crystal,
Yeah.
Sutton, Garcelle, and Denise.
You're right. I'm like, my loyalties have shifted so much where I wanted the Fox Force 5 dismantled so much that I was so happy when Lisa Rinna left. And I do think Lisa Rinna is a huge part of the decline why I didn't like that group. But now when I see the alternative of who could possibly take over, I'm like, give me Dorit and Kyle and Erica all day.
Yeah.
But just make them talk about real shit and not be above the fray where there's
Right.
this alliance. Because I'm not too stoked on the Crystal Garcelle Sutton dynamic right now,
It's
especially if
terrible.
you're adding Denise, who's her, not very good.
Right. So at one place they're talking about sphincters. Then at this lunch, Garcelle brings up neuropathy because she saw the, like, if you've been affected, like, thing on TV. And she's like, apparently it can be so bad that it'll cause amputation. And they're all like, what the fuck? Why are you saying that right now? And then they're talking about Kyle. And then Denise goes, so Kyle was questioning your drinking. And I think she just meant she was trying to get clarity on the situation, but Sutton immediately took it as exactly like she should talk.
Yeah.
And then they all go around talking shit about Kyle doing the splits and all this stuff, which I'm like, I thought that's what you guys love. You were mad that she doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah. I know. I did not like this united front against Kyle. Like, I'm like, it's like the world against Kyle right now. And I'm proud of Kyle for being so open about everything that she's going through. And you can just tell how sad she is this entire episode.
Right.
And it ends, I mean, I don't know if you want to skip, I mean, the Dorit homeschool stuff was sort of, I don't know. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, those kids are going to be weird. That's all I'll say.
I wanted to make one note. At one point, they're showing a lesson that Phoenix got, where the teacher is saying, a book has a cover or whatever, and Phoenix goes, a cover is probably the most important part of the book. And I was thinking, I think he failed that lesson because we all learned that actually you don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
So I think PK probably heard that conversation happening and said, get these kids back in school immediately.
Right. Well, I also forgot. He goes, I raised 3 kids before I even met you. And I was like, holy shit, how old are they?
I forgot that too.
They must be in like their 20s.
PK, I got to know more about him, but I don't need to know more.
Right.
But I should probably at someday learn.
Yeah.
All right. Then this is sweet, right? This was sweet, I thought.
Which part?
Oh, if we're going towards the end, unless you want to talk about Erica getting that big dirty martini.
Yeah. All I'll say is that her creative director, Mickey,
Yes.
he choreographed Paris Hilton's show that I was talking about.
Oh,
he's
the
on
one
both shows.
Oh, that's amazing. Wow. A small world.
Small world. I was like watching it and I was like, that's Mickey.
Wow. That's
Mikey?
awesome.
Mickey.
I'm not sure. I only know him from
might be
this, from
Mikey.
Erica's friend.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah. Oh yes, the sweet part would be Kyle, Dorit, and Kim Richards.
Yes. So they're just talking about how bad Sutton is and how low of a blow it is to bring the sisters into place. And then all of a sudden, a ray of sunshine approaches them. Kim Richards, who I haven't seen in forever, unless she just peeked her head in some season that I'm forgetting about. But
she is on Paris in Love, if you watch that.
I love that. And I love Kim's presence. I've always loved her. We've talked about Kim a lot. She's finally in a good place.
She looks great.
She looks great. She's in a good place with Kyle. She had a little bit, it sounds, of a hard COVID time where she unfortunately didn't leave the house for 3 years.
She never left and started painting the walls.
So, yes, that was rough COVID-wise. But those murals that she painted, I thought actually looked very beautiful. I was like, did you like them? You didn't like them?
Well, some of her art looked cool, but I'm worried that if you went in person, it would look like a house of horrors.
Oh, I'm sure if you got invited to that house and you walked in and you saw a lot of these competing scenes, paintings, you probably would say, what is happening in here? Did someone live here for 3 years without leaving the house?
Yeah.
But isolated.
Right.
I thought she showed a lot of artistic promise.
Yeah,
I was proud of her.
Kyle was impressed. I love how she was like, I told Paris that if she wants me to paint anything on the walls for her baby's nursery, I could do it.
Yes.
One quick thing, because I just feel the need to use my knowledge of Paris in Love. When Kim comes to meet the baby, Kathy forces her. They don't show her on camera until Kathy forces Kim to wear a baseball cap because she said her hair looked like shit.
Wait, Kathy forced Kim to wear a baseball hat because her hair looked like shit to meet the baby?
Yeah.
Why couldn't the baby see her hair like that?
She basically, Kathy comes into Paris's room and is like, Kim's here. She's going to meet the baby, but do you have like a baseball cap or something? Because her hair's not done. And then I was like, at first I was like, maybe Kim was like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't know I was going to be on camera.
Right.
Like, can you get me a hat or something, whatever.
Right.
But then they go in, she has the cap on her head and she goes, yeah, your mom made me put on a hat. She didn't like my hair.
Whoa, Kathy, what the hell is going on? And why did you not show your true self on Beverly Hills and you only show it on Paris's Love or
Yeah.
Paris in Love?
In Love. Yeah.
Then when they talk about Paris, that makes Kyle sad for exactly the reasons we talked about. That for some reason, when Kathy gets in a feud with Kyle, she has to make her entire family ice them out completely. So
Yeah.
Kyle is withdrawn and away from half of her family, or a significant part of them, because she's in a fight with Kathy. So she talks about how sad that is. Kim says this is so sad. You guys need to work this out.
Yeah.
Life is too short. She's obviously learned a lot, in the last few years. And I thought it was so sweet. They hug. Dorit takes a photo of them because it's like the sisters are bonding again.
I loved how touched Dorit was.
Me
I was
too.
like, Dorit's actually friends with Kyle.
Dorit
like,
was,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, Dorit was bringing it this episode. I don't know what the hell I was being a Dorit hater. I don't know if maybe I watched those seasons again. I might like.
She's been more fun recently. Something changed.
She's very fun. I mean, her addressing Denise's upside down jacket was so powerful. I've never seen anything like it. She's actually, you're right. Her friendship with Kyle is so legitimate and real that that is something you can't fake on these shows, and a lot of franchises don't have actual good friendships like stood the test of time.
Right.
And Dorit and Kyle's is one of them.
Right.
We need to do someday we need to do a recount of like the best, most authentic friends, like the best duos in all of Bravo franchises, just because it's true. It's a sacred thing.
Totally.
And this is one, and I thought it was sweet, and I'm glad that even though things are horrible with Kathy, she still has Kim, because that was always tumultuous as well.
Right. But I think aren't Kathy and all the sisters at this point today are good.
I think they're doing better.
Yeah.
But you never know when Kathy's going to withhold that love again for any infraction that Kyle might.
I know. It's just funny watching her again and again say, we're in a really good place right now with like any one of her sisters. I'm like, this has been happening for so many years.
Right.
Like, it's so crazy that their relationship is so difficult.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
It's
well,
wild.
I think it's because of what we said. Kathy and Kim both have the power to write off Kyle for anything she does wrong, and they're fine just like leaving her in the dust. And Kyle doesn't have that same feature in her.
Yeah.
She loves her sisters and wants to be with them even when they're fighting, and would never do that to them. So she's so stunned that they could withdraw their love from her, and they do it all the time.
Yeah.
And she's used to it now. I do want to say, are you ready for Winter House?
Yeah.
Do you care if we take one more quick Certified Turtle piss break?
Let's do it.
Okay, perfect. We're back.
We got nogged up.
Have you had all of your nog?
Almost. It's good.
You like it, really?
I do. It's good.
Okay, good. I'm so glad. I'm nogged up as well. I had a full like cup of it. Okay,
it's
well,
good.
that Beverly Hills was good, right?
I enjoyed it.
But the only thing is that it was so powerful for the first half, and then they just have to put a bunch of dog shit random homeschooling stuff because they didn't want to make that one full iconic episode to spread it out.
I did feel like that homeschooling conversation did make me feel more than ever that they will get divorced.
Yeah, it was a little rough, and she talked about how withdrawn PK is from the proceedings of a parent.
Right, she said she feels like a single mom.
She's like, he doesn't know shit about them, and he just comes in like with this thing that he thinks is right and says that it has to be like that, but he doesn't know Phoenix or Jagger.
Yeah, that was kind of dark.
Is it Phoenix and Jagger?
Yeah, right?
Phoenix and Jagger? And then did Paris name her kid Phoenix too?
She did.
So
she said she wanted to name her children after cities like herself. And I was like, Phoenix is a city? I was like, it kind of only works for like glamorous cities.
No, Phoenix is nice.
You like Phoenix?
Yes. My parents, my dad lived in Phoenix for a really long time. Well, Scottsdale, technically, which is actually
That's a
nice.
good name.
Scottsdale. I like that.
Not Scott, but Scottsdale.
Scottsdale is pretty cool. That's a good name. Scottsdale. And then
What about like Tustin?
Tustin. There are actually a lot of good city names. So I'm okay with Phoenix, but I know what you mean.
Like her daughter's London, so she'll be London and Paris, and then Phoenix. But I guess Phoenix, the opposite or the other version, is cool, like a phoenix
bird.
rising.
Yeah, I like that too. Well, yeah, I'm proud of Paris for that.
Yeah, it's like how there's like 400 housewife children named Cruz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so Winter House. This house is still rocking.
It's still winter in the house. This episode's called Parental Advisory.
Because for some reason, now I think it's sweet that Corey invited his parents, but why did he?
Yeah.
And why did they come?
Yeah.
And why?
It's weird.
I'm fine that they did, and I think it's sweet, and I like seeing his rapport with his parents. His dad seemed a little mean, actually.
Yeah. To Malia.
When he made that horrible joke to Malia, or not even a joke. He said, "What are you going to do? Post that photo for your 25 followers on Instagram?" I was like, "What the hell did you say?"
Well,
to
at least
Malia?
she shot back.
Yeah, that maybe, and then maybe they know that that's like the kind of humor that they have.
Yeah, I'd be like, I don't know you like that.
Yeah, I don't know you like that at all. But so I was just less. I'm so tired of the Sam and Corey. Will we make it official? It sounds like something that sixth graders would talk about.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So overall, that shit was not that great. The fact that was like the main focus, or whatever. But what's really the meat of this episode is Alex and Danielle's full demise.
I thought you were going to say Captain Sandy.
Oh, Captain Sandy was fine.
That was very much just one and done.
I mean, she didn't really do shit.
She didn't do shit. They put it in the preview forever.
Yeah.
And then it was like the most boring shit ever.
She just like went down the mountain with them. Obviously, I'm always stunned anytime I see Casey ski backwards. I'm like,
right.
Casey, you are the best skier I've ever seen in my life. But the skiing, there was too much skiing in this episode. It was night skiing and day skiing.
Right.
I was like, you guys can't go skiing twice in an episode.
Yeah. Did you see that when they were saying goodbye to Captain Sandy, Kyle said, "Hopefully I sell my beverage company and then I can charter a yacht." And I was like, oh, is that the plan?
I made a mark of that too, because I was like, that would be the coolest episode of Below Deck.
Oh my God.
Like a full season of Below Deck could be
Yeah.
that. That was awesome. I thought this entire episode, it was Alex's behavior. This episode was so funny to me that he is like the most miserable I've ever seen someone on one of these shows.
Yeah.
He just cannot stand that he is in this situationship with Danielle, and he's actively miserable.
Yeah.
He's begrudgingly kissing her. He doesn't want anything to do with her. Anytime she like talks about anything in the future, he's like, yeah, we'll see. I don't know about that. It's like he just wants out of this, but he can't just say.
I know.
to
She
her.
keeps being like, "What's wrong? Are you okay? Your vibe is off."
Your vibe is off, she keeps saying to him.
Like she's taken a turn. The agreement is not
No.
agreed upon.
Right.
I also just want to quickly say that they FaceTime Schwartz, and he does say that he's coming back, which I really didn't think he would.
He had a full pause where he waited. I didn't think so either, but he's coming back. I can't wait to see him. I mean, so excited again. That'll be so fun. And I like that he texted Katie. He goes, I survived the reunion and I lived to tell the tale.
Yes.
So sweet.
Also, Amanda takes a pregnancy test because she keeps feeling sick. And we are not surprised to find that it's negative because we know that she did not
I think
have a
she's
baby.
nauseous because she got bashed in the nose and eyes and face with a huge football the day before, and that
she
would
also
make you
had
sick.
Norovirus mere days before and hadn't recovered yet.
Yeah, it's no mystery to me why Amanda is feeling a little under the weather.
Yeah. But Danielle is all worried about Alex.
Yes.
And then she decides she's kind of losing it, quite honestly, in this episode.
She's losing it, and the impetus for her losing it. So we can kind of get to it, right? We're like cutting through Winter House.
Yeah.
Okay. So Danielle pulls Jordan aside and basically says something like, "I can't be friends with you, even though we should be friends because of how you're acting around Alex." And she goes, "I think that you're kind of withdrawn and like being a bummer, bad mood, horrible because you're not getting attention from men and no one likes you here. You don't have a crush on anyone." Jordan goes, "Okay." And
She's
then when
like,
Jordan
wow.
And then when Jordan comes back to the house, she tells Alex, because they have a friendship now, and Alex, I think, wishes he was with Jordan.
Yeah.
He tells Jordan tells him what Danielle said, and Danielle, I think Alex says something like, "I hate Danielle. I can't believe she said that." And Danielle overhears it.
Yeah, she's like, "Fuck off! You guys are fucking awful."
Yes, and then at this whole another through line of this episode is that Brian has needed clothes the entire time because he didn't pack anything right. He didn't bring boots. He didn't bring cold enough jackets. So finally, his mom sent this coveted package of a bunch of warm clothes.
Yeah.
Right? And then those two events happen at the exact same time where Brian is elated that he finally has fun clothes from his mom, which I don't know about this, his love for his mom, but it's implied that he's like a mama's boy.
Right.
But then when Danielle, she says the mood is bad and the vibe is so bad that she finally wants to let loose and party her ass off, but it's kind of a chaotic, evil party energy that she wants to create in the house.
Yeah, she's like, who cares about that fucking box? It's time to party.
Yes.
Throws it at him.
Yes.
He's immediately so pissed. He goes, "That's disrespectful to my mom. My mom just sent me that." And she's like, "Who cares?
We're partying."
She goes, "Jesus Christ, everybody sucks in this house."
Yeah, and then when I saw this scene, this is my most this was the scene I was most excited about, and I always thought Danielle was being very funny by saying, "Who cares? We're partying," and that Brian Benny was over heightening his reaction, like,
Yeah.
"My mom got me that," to be a silly guy.
Yeah.
But no, everything about that scene was real. He was really upset. She was shoving his clothes in his face and slapping him with the gloves, throwing his shit around the house. And then she was really saying, "Don't talk about your mom right now. Get out of that clothes box and come party with me."
Yeah, Casey was totally offended. She went over to Alex's room and was like, "You need to go check your girl."
Brian said that too.
Yeah, they go together. They're like, "She's a demon out there." And he goes, "It's not my responsibility.
Yes.
I shouldn't have to deal with that." And they were like, "You're right."
Right. Right. And then I've never seen Brian mad. So this is like what it took to get Brian mad. And it was. I mean, I would be mad at Danielle too if she
was
that.
just being whack.
Yeah.
And then she comes in to talk to him, and she, at no point does she apologize. She just goes, he's like, "That was fucked up. Why are you being like this? What's going on? Like, stop."
Yes.
And she goes, "Don't get it twisted ever.
Come correct with me next time or don't come at all." It was like she started to speak in these phrases that didn't really make any sense.
Yeah, she was
at all.
like scary. And then she's like, "Do you think Alex likes me?" I was like, "You're going insane."
And then it ends where she wants this party energy so badly, and then she has to go to her room to collect herself because she's so sad. And
Yeah.
she's almost crying, telling herself in the mirror. She's like, what does she say?
She
in the
goes,
mirror?
"I
She goes,
can do anything."
"I can do anything."
And I'm like, it was like The Shining.
Yeah,
I was like, she's like on the typewriter, like,
Yes.
"All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy." I was like, you need to like stop drinking, I think,
I think the alcohol
in this environment.
The alcohol definitely added to this evil, chaotic party energy that she wants to manifest in the house. But also, she's just not truly understanding that Alex can have sex with her at this time and have sex with her multiple times and not be that into her. It's just, it's not clicking for her.
Right.
And
Yeah. At one point in her confessional, right after she said all that shit to Jordan was like, she was like, "We're both Capricorns, we're both goats, but I'm not a scapegoat, baby. So go scurry up that mountain." I was like, Jordan loves a little wordplay.
yeah, she does like that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was.
And I'm like, she went from Capricorn to goat to scapegoat, and I was like, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was. I actually did like that. Jordan was actually kind of fun this episode just because it was kind of funny to see her reaction to Danielle when Danielle took her aside and said that horrible stuff to her. And then Brian, I think, calms Danielle down a little bit or whatever, and they get to a good place. But it's Danielle is just very upset. And this is all sort of post Robert,
Right.
This is like we're seeing alternate versions of what could have happened with Rachel Leviss after James, where Rachel was doing this exact shit, but she was just secretly doing the worst thing in the world with Sandoval. This is another minor version of that. People with broken hearts who are sort of lashing out. And it's like Rachel Leviss, Taylor and Green, and Danielle are like just all people that are grieving, brokenhearted from a relationship, and we're seeing the aftermath
Wreaking
of that.
havoc.
Wreaking havoc for the most part. Wait, who's not wreaking havoc? Well, we're all. Oh no, Rachel Leviss wreaked absolute havoc. I mean, she scorched.
She went rogue.
She went absolutely rogue. Taylor and Green is lesser. It's more like. Just a more minor version of that. And then Danielle's on her own journey, which I've never seen before. This is like another version of a scorched earth.
Right.
Crazy partying to get over the fact that I'm hurt.
Right. Did you watch Floody and Alex on Watch What Happens Live?
Yes, I did. But I
Was
don't
there
remember
any
anything.
tea?
Oh, you didn't watch it.
No, I didn't watch it.
I don't recall, except that Alex said he was like, he said Danielle was nice to me. We were kind of talking after a Winter House film, but then after the reunion or right before the reunion, as she started to watch it, she like treated him very coldly.
Okay.
And I think he said the reunion, he was like the target of a lot of vitriol,
Okay.
which you can imagine.
Yeah, I can't remember, was it Danielle and Jordan that were on together? Whenever Jordan was on, she was like, really did not have a good opinion of Alex. Like every chance she got, she gave him a dig.
Jordan did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then Jordan was in the audience for Alex and Floodies.
Right. I'm very curious to see what that reunion's
I
going to be
know.
like.
Yeah.
Because that's never happened before.
No, I don't.
Right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
I'm excited too.
Next week, Schwartz is back. Sam visits.
Right.
So that'll be a breath of fresh air. That show, I mean, it has to almost be over, right?
I think it is. I think it's only
This
gonna
is
be,
episode 7.
Oh, okay.
So
I think it's going to be maybe
8 or 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's been fun. I really have enjoyed this Winter House, era. I think all the cast members were great, like we've talked about every week.
Yeah.
And Schwartz was such a fun addition to this group.
Yeah.
And seeing him at, post Scandival was so interesting. So.
Right. Yeah. It'll be, so I guess, when did Vanderpump start filming season 11?
I think we talked about this. I think it was like late July. It was like later than we expected. But it was like, late July, almost like August. And we were like,
Okay.
whoa, that's when it's filming? Yeah. Or no, you know what? Like late June, and then they ended end of August. I think.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm like trying to think of how much time Schwartz had in between
I know.
to chill.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, well,
but,
cool. Well, yeah. I mean, this week there are some good, I think, episodes, right?
Yeah, we have to assess what the holiday schedule is going to be, because I don't know if everything is on during the holidays. I do know that I'm pretty sure Ultimate Girls Trip starts next week, which means we won't cover it next week, but probably the week after. I think they're going to release 3 episodes at once. So Ramona's going to be back on her bullshit. We have to see what that's all about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, it's the holidays. We'll make it work.
Yeah, we will. No matter what they try to throw at us, any curveball, we're ready for it, and we will make it work, and we will make a turtle time.
In the words of Tim Gunn. Make it work.
Oh, he says that?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know Tim Gunn said that. Well, we are going to do exactly what Tim Gunn says, and so yeah, Amy and I are going to leave now and go to sleep.
Say goodbye.
Say goodbye. We want you to sleep good. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. If you want to hear Amy and I talk even more for some reason than we did right now, you can always subscribe to our Patreon.
Yep. We're on season 3 of Vanderpump. It's iconic.
I was listening to our Tears Over Miami episode, the one that we recorded, season 3, where it's like Sheena and Shay's bachelorette trip in Miami.
Yep.
And I was proud of us.
I
was proud of us.
It was entertaining.
Yeah, I was like, even our most dog shit episodes where I'm absolutely think that they're one of the worst episodes we've ever recorded, not saying that this episode would be one of them, personally for me at all, but I then go back, I'm like, did we bring it for Tears Over Miami? And then I listened to it, and I'm like, we're talking about Denny's Moons Over Miami menu. We were being kind of silly about, just random stuff, and I was proud of us.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
Sometimes we bring it.
Sometimes also you just want to listen to 2 people talk, and maybe they'll say something fun or funny or have a good take, and you're like, oh, that's good. But then I'll just listen to this lull of them talking where nothing is good or entertaining.
We're just here to distract you from your thoughts, whether it's entertaining or not. We can at least put sound in your ears.
Yes. Oh, yeah, exactly right. We could just be sound in your ears. Just what Amy said.
Maybe if this episode was bad, people can use it to fall asleep to.
Yeah, I will say I should have said this up front. I should have done a warning. This might be one to go to sleep to, right?
Well, I don't know. Maybe people like us more than we think.
I hope that's the case. I don't know if this one that could possibly be real. And I'll just say full disclosure, I am, tired as hell. But
we partied last night.
We partied,
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but we did stay out late last night and we drank and it made us tired.
Which is irresponsible of us, and we're never going to do that again. And I do think we do one for them and one for us. I did think last week's episode was actually good. We
Yeah.
weren't just lying, and then we had to
we
give them
earned
one.
some slack.
And then we had to give them one absolute dog shit mess where I'm breezing through it and ripping through it as fast as possible. But anyway, we love you so much. That's the Turtle Time code. But Amy and I love you so much, and we want you to enjoy the holidays, and we'll be back next week.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
All right, sleep good.
Bye.
This one